Reactor engaged. Faction locked. All go.
Thundercats are loose.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all doing as well as you can. I know I already have a super chat. I appreciate it. Let me go ahead and read that real quick before we get started. $5 from Long Fork. What a name. Hello, Lyle. I hope you have a great holiday day and a great day. I will try. Okay, so I'm going to try very hard to not unironically crash out here, because this quote-unquote response has driven me up a wall since it was released. It's ridiculous. It's dishonest. It's asinine. And I think it's the worst one I have seen that does not revolve around the person actually preying on children. Now, there's criticism given to mine, which I'm fine by. But you know what I didn't do in mine? Anything he's doing here. I never once even mentioned my pee-pee, which for some reason he did. Yes, he did. You're going to hear it. It's going to suck. I hate it. I hate it here. So, thank you, Simon, for $2. I'll read out more later. But look, I told Jar. Oh, Yielded Poo, thank you for $2. Slurs, and more slurs. Doggone it. I told this man, don't even bother with an apology for two reasons. Number one, nobody's going to take it seriously. Nobody's going to think he's being honest. All right, and the second reason, which I kept internal, I knew he'd pull a stunt like this. I knew none of it would be about accountability. It would just be about him trying to push the blame elsewhere. So we're going to get into this. Now, usually I'd watch this stuff at 2 times speed, but I don't think I can on this one. I think the only thing I can do is go regular speed and just address where I can, and hopefully I don't lose my mind. I've gone from disliking Jar's behavior to just disliking him as a person. I'm disgusted by this. But you know what? Time to share the pain. Alright, guys, I'll go 1.25 just to make you all happy. Let's do this.
Hey everyone, it's been a while. In fact, it's been a couple of months. These last few months have been very chaotic, to say the least, and I know a lot of you have many questions. You're curious about my side of the story. Don't worry, I brought receipts.
He didn't bring receipts, by the way. That's just a lie. He brought a receipt for literally nothing, other than things that make him look worse.
I know most people won't care for what I have to say. The tea has gone cold and they've moved on to talking about people like Mudahar and Nuxtaku. But at least you're here watching this unmonetized video of mine, so you don't have to even worry about giving me money by viewing this video. Or maybe you're just viewing this through someone else's live stream who's looking to farm a few more clicks off of me. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I fucked up. I really dropped the ball in this situation. I can't even say that I was manipulated or enabled to get involved.
Why is he immediately victimizing himself? Because that's what he's doing. You're watching my downfall. You're watching this through some other streamer. Yeah, I wonder why people are streaming about you, Jar. I wonder why. Maybe it's because your actions are so doggone stupid. Actually, you know what? I apologize. I want to be as accurate as I can here. His actions aren't stupid. They're malicious. This video is malicious. And he has to throw up other random YouTubers to make comparisons. The man doesn't live in, like, the physical meat world. He doesn't know anything about history or life. It's like everything to him is within the confines of YouTube. And I hate it, and I want it to die.
With the Synni drama, because both my roommate and my girlfriend and even my...
Now, here's what I'm going to do some others haven't. I am going to read what's on these screens, because I need to. BMW, die in a fire. They thought defending someone getting bashed like I've done before would lead to me fighting against drama channels for years like I've done before. So, context of the drama channels Jar fought against weren't often even really drama channels. They were just random people who were often smaller than him that he beefed with. The only time he got into actual heat was during the Toby stuff, because his video was on it was bad. It was awful. They didn't want to see me deal with that again people. This is how we know Jar edited the video. And go through the hardship. It's not that they thought I was in the wrong, which is interesting, because I've heard otherwise. So one person's lying to me, and I don't know who. Because they didn't see the final video. You told people that you shopped this stupid thing around. And don't even say now that the video you put out wasn't the final video. I directly asked you how close it was it to your final video. Essentially, it was the final video. So can we not be dishonest this early on? We're 47 seconds in! Also, yes, I will be adding text throughout this video so people are less likely to misunderstanding me. I hate this all. I hate it here. I hate it here!
My neighbor told me that what I was doing was stupid and reckless.
Who shops a YouTube video to their neighbor?
And I knew that defending someone from the RCC with allegations this serious.
I was one of the people who helped Spockator. By the way, that's consistent. He always spells Spoctor as Spockator. Spockator. As well. How'd that work out? Oh, yeah. Helping people feels good, but isn't good for you in the long run. I hate you. I actually just hate you. What do you mean it isn't good for you in the long run? There's nothing wrong with helping people. Helping people is like an objective good thing so long as you are helping them for the correct reason. They wind up screwing up later on, that's on them, buddy. Has nothing to do with literally anything else. Nothing to do with literally anything else. If you're not helping people because you know it's the right thing to do, if you're helping people for clout, clicks, backpats, networking, then you screwed up. You've absolutely screwed up, and you can't keep doing that. This is dumb. Helping people feels good, but isn't good for you in the long run. I hope people remember that next time you ask for help, Jar.
Areas would more than likely go bad for me. I, along with everybody who was close to me, expected me to get some backlash, but not this much backlash. They're not even telling me they told me so because they didn't even expect it to get this bad.
Then they weren't paying attention. You literally went out there and defended somebody who without question was guilty of what they were being accused of.
But before I get into what's going on and all the allegations against me, I would like to apologize to a few people. I would like to apologize to my girlfriend, my roommate, and my neighbor for not listening to them. You guys know me best, and you were looking out for my best interest. I should have listened to you guys, and now I'm facing the consequences for my actions.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's what that comes down to. This is dumb. You're dumb. Also, I love that he didn't apologize to, anybody else he screwed over or lied about, or the stupid crap he said in that call with the Synni call. No, just I'm going to apologize to the people around me who didn't know it was going to be this bad. They weren't paying attention then. This is asinine. I hate it here.
I would like to apologize to my editor Lorenzo for any backlash he might have faced from editing my video. Even you were worried about things going wrong after I released the video.
You mean the editor that you pay $20 to for an hour-long videos? Because, and what was your reasoning for that? Let's see here. He didn't ask for more, and the dollar stretches further where he lives in the Philippines. If that's the case, pay him normally. Let him be okay. Look, Lorenzo's kind of goofy. I'm not going to deny that. Sometimes you can wear on the nerves, but he does darn good editing work. So can you not? Can you just don't, please?
And I'm sorry for making you edit it in the first place. I
don't know. The edits he did made it very clear he did not like editing that video. The casting couch alone was pretty good evidence of that.
The extra money I gave you can make up for my mistake. I would like to apologize to Eno for how my video affected her. You were so young, and no one should go through that at your age. Along with anyone who might...
You were so young, and no one should go through that. You don't say. You don't say.
Have been made uncomfortable by things I've said in my video. And I'm also sorry to my fans for disappointing them. What I did was incredibly stupid, and I understand if you unsubscribe from me. I'm not upset with everybody who has made a video on me, because I can understand where a lot of them are coming from. Granted, there are a few people who have said some crazy things about me.
Welcome to the club, dork.
I knew how this guy was. I warned you how he was. I told you what position you were in, and I was very conscious and scared on your behalf because of what position you're in. Jar could have raped you, and that's probably what he was trying to, that was probably his dream, his end goal.
Jeez, thank you, Pokey Princess. $200. I will get to the rest of them, but good lord, that thing jumped out in red. Gonna get you for missing lots of streams. Hope you're doing well. You probably haven't missed that much, but thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about this Kumo clip from the call he had. All right. According to Kumo, the claims of Jar assaulting Synni weren't even supposed to be in the final released cut. You can have your criticisms. I think it's a bit off by a large measure to accuse Jar of that with no physical solid evidence. But it was supposed to at least be cut, and Romantic Goblin didn't do it because Romantic Goblin's a moron. And here I'm going to give you guys a treat, all right? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to press 1 in the chat if you want a special treat regarding Romantic Goblin, just for the funsies. All right? I'll give it a little bit of time. And for those of you worried, yes, I am hydrated. I've actually got a whole bunch of water here. Whoa! That's a lot of ones. Alright, so Romantic Goblin's crash out was very unique. And the reason why it was unique is because not only did they double down on the stupid, including trying to get Synni a gun, I wish I was joking, but their response to getting criticism of that specific incident was to go on a live stream to talk about quote-unquote gun safety with some lunatic named After Hours who has sent me pizzas before, and I know you're listening, After Hours. Please make sure you pay the pizza guys on this one. It's not fair to involve them and make them run around without being paid. That ain't cool. The plan, apparently, was for After Hours to get on Goblin's live stream, berate Goblin, and then quote-unquote take over her channel so everybody would focus on After Hours and Goblin could sink into the shadows without criticism. I wish I was joking. I wish this was silly. I wish this... Well, it is silly. I wish this was like something I made up, but this is genuinely hilarious. I love that she's just that unspeakably dumb. That was great. That gave me such a laugh. We bullied her for that one. Because she was in a server called Guac that I'm in. I don't run it, want to be clear. That I'm in. And she wound up leaving because she couldn't handle the bullying. It was hilarious. But yeah, let's get back to this now. We have given you guys your treat. Back to the rage.
I'm going over a lot more than just the Synni stuff in this video, because just about every bad or questionable thing I have done is out there now. If you're only here
I don't know about that one yet. Time tells things.
for one specific allegation and you don't care to watch this entire video, don't worry, I will be providing timestamps for specific...
How I Talk to People, 1431, the Jaiden Animations Drawing, 2637. I'm going to say this now. If you have in your response video a section called Do I Have a Fart Fetish? Give up. Pack it up. Go home. Live in the woods. Why would you do this? Why?
Big allegations. The biggest problem with my video draft about Synni by far is how soft I went on her. I regret that even more now due to the fact that new information has been released about...
It's not new! It was there at the beginning, you terminally online turbo dork! It's been there the whole time it was in the stinking dock! Here's the thing. If you hit a freaking horse with an RPG, the horse is dead. Alright? You don't need to come up later on with like an M16 and continue to plug the sucker. The thing's already turned into the landscape itself because it's spread so far. Like, all you needed to realize that there was something wrong with Synni was the initial dock. You don't need anything else, really. And yeah, okay, Vlad, I won't tell you how to kill your horse, I promise.
About Synni. I don't like being lied to, especially by people who wanted my help, but
Here's the kicker, Synni didn't lie to you, Jar. You ran defense for Synni without her having to lie about anything to you. Because you wanted to believe everything she said about how she feels like she's being attacked, how Jack is a big, mean, scary man. In the call you had with Synni, you do 90% of the talking, buddy.
I fell for what she told me, being the gullible fool that I am. I didn't
You're not a victim.
believe that Synni is a pedo, and I still don't believe she's a pedo. I don't
Okay, you know what? From a technical standpoint, using something like the DSM-5, you're right. You can't correctly call her a pedophile, simply because a pedophile has to offend more than once, according to the DSM-5. You can, however, call her a creep, a freak, a weirdo, someone who shouldn't have a platform, somebody who shouldn't be around kids, and, scummy. And perhaps a groomer. And here's the reason. Like, a lot of people... hold on. A lot of people contest the grooming claim, and I get that, right? I absolutely do. I understand why that's being contested in the sense that we want to make sure our terminology is accurate. I fully get that. However, what we see in those chats could very well be the early stages of that. That is the issue I have here. Like, so it's very much so on, like, the pendulum of it. So, anywho.
I don't believe she had a desire to get with the minor or exchange nudes with the minor. I never said what Synni did was okay. I said it was wildly inappropriate and an optics nightmare.
Yeah, and then you found out that maybe you can use this larger creator as part of your personal army against the ACC.
Usually I would expect that if someone was grooming, that the groomer would intend to get with them. At least this was my thought process at the time, based off of all the other grooming cases I have seen. I didn't believe she did what she did.
Jar, how many have you actually seen? Because you certainly weren't helping me. Not once. Also, I want to go ahead and point out, because I can't remember if I did or not in the earlier streams, Jar talks about how groomers never admit it. He's been in several calls in Senate where they did exactly that. Sorry, I wasn't a table smash. I was actually putting my phone down and dropped it too hard. He's been in plenty of Senate calls where we have torn into groomers who absolutely admitted everything they did. And sometimes even worse. So, I don't know where he got that from. Oh wait, he made it up.
Out of malicious intent or to hurt anyone. I really believe that she was just incredibly socially retarded. Along with the fact that I
don't think I need to say anything there. I think that speaks for itself.
Really wanted to believe that she wasn't as guilty as everyone was painting.
Yes! Thank you, Pooh! Yes! Nerf recently admitted to grooming. He was 17 and she was 12. Very smart.
Her out to be, along with the fact that she was encouraged to draw suggestive artwork when she was 14. That's why I took pity on her, because I thought what she did was out of stupidity and not malice. I truly believed that I was onto something.
Also, from you, right? Also, Liquid. Look, you can take into account, Jar, that people may have bad behaviors that stem from childhood trauma or stem from being pushed into things. However, you still have to recognize that people make their own decisions. And on top of that, I don't believe for a second you didn't know that she... Actually, you do know. And you did when this started. She had been called about previous behavior right before she turned 18. What the heck? Stop. Cease. Desist.
Something comparing this to the Pyro drama, because Pyro did learn of Ivory's age when...
Not everything is about other YouTubers. I genuinely hate it. Like, okay, cards on the table, I am an absolute nerd. Like, look at my channel. I am a nerd. I love fiction. I love cartoons. I love comic books. I also know about reality. I can also compare things to historical situations or personal history or the history of other people I know. The fact that all he ever does is compare to either fiction or other YouTube drama to try to recontextualize something to make it lesser drives me up a wall.
When they turned 16, not when they were 15. And he said, and I quote here, shouldn't have continued the furry stuff with him. Along with the fact that Pyro got a 15-year-old who he knew was 15 to draw a thicker, looter, sexier version of his avatar.
Yeah, and he should have been beaten for that.
I thought to myself, well, if people are okay with Pyro doing this, then why aren't they okay with Synni's actions?
That is argumentum ad populum, Jar. Mr. Debate Bro here doesn't know a logical fallacy. It doesn't matter if the majority of people are okay with something. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Here, I'll go ahead and give you something from my own neck of the woods. The freaking Rosa call up until Ponder piped up, nobody had a problem with it. I guess it must have been fine, Jar, by that logic. Holy Lord.
I think we all know that if the Pyro drama started with Pyro immediately uploading a video saying, guys, I admit to it, I groomed a minor, and I knew what I was doing was wrong, that drama would have gone completely differently. And I believe that Synni was gaslit into doing that by her roommate who goes by it pronouns.
What do their oh wait, the pronouns have nothing to do with anything. I'm sorry, but Synni wasn't gaslit. Granted, the whole situation's weird. Alright? The fact that Birdie's working, or Jack's working on a video, while Synni's working on an apology video where they admit their stuff in the same house, sharing dinner and space together, is the strangest thing I've heard by far in a very, very long time. Alright? You can call that all you want. But there's no evidence. None. That they were gaslit into this. Do you even know what gaslighting is?
When I saw Kumo coming to the same conclusions about Synni that I came to, along with witnessing him beating a few people in debates about it, I thought he might have been onto something, so I decided that I should help her as well.
And here's the thing he just admitted to that a lot of people don't understand. Okay, firstly, Kumo defended Synni for two reasons. Number one, he thought Synni was getting sandbagged, and he thinks he conflated that situation with what Kumo had to deal with a few years ago, which we will be talking about later on in the stream because Jar uses it to try to throw him under a bus. And secondly, he wanted to get Synni's discussion out of the way to go after Jack because that was his target. That's what he wanted to do. Am I justifying this? Absolutely not. And I've told him as much. And so is literally everybody in our circles. Vlad's told him that, as well as Beckett and just about everybody else he's talked to. Alright? The reason Jar did that was I saw Kumo win debates. Who did he win debates against? Like, nobody? Who cares? Who freaking cares? Jar saw an option, an ability to ride clout using somebody else's argument, and tried to do it. That's all it came down to, because that's just what he does.
I now realize that not all the chat logs were released between Ivory and Pyro in the same way they were for Synni. Also, I believe Synni released the full logs herself, but I wasn't aware of that when I was working on my video. At least I don't think I was. On top of that, Synni is a repeat offender to a very disturbing degree. It would be like Pyro getting accused of everything he did, with the Call Me Carson allegations on top of that, along with a bunch of other things. My main understanding of morality is that hypocrisy is the most objectable sin.
There are times I pray for patience, and I know it comes through trial per scripture, but sometimes I pray for patience because if I prayed for strength, I would use it the wrong way. This sin is a theological idea. Whether, it doesn't matter what your theology is, it is a theological thing. And no, hypocrisy is not the most objectable sin. There are sins God literally calls abominations. Are you stupid? Is it the most picked apart thing in commentary? Well, yeah, absolutely. Is it the thing people go, haha, you're a hypocrite? Yeah, sure, why not? But it's not the most objectable sin. And everybody, to one extent or another, is a hypocrite. Me, you, everybody else. Jar, you are so YouTube-brained. It's actually scary.
I also understand that nothing can get you cancelled harder than a child grooming allegation that a lot of people believe. I saw how people flip-flopped on the Pyro drama, so I thought they were about to do the same with this situation. The first draft of my Synni video was
Thank you for admitting that you did this simply because you thought that you were riding the wave of agreeance.
originally made to bash her. That being said, I still went softer on her than most people did, and I was planning to add more to my video draft as the drama went on.
Jar, you literally said in your call with her that you were going to go harder on her, not because she was inappropriate with a child, but because she's art commentary. What is wrong with you? I think you also need to mention that even if it's not grooming, teaching young kids that's normal might cause the same kid to be groomed by someone with bad intentions. The funny thing about that, well, it's not funny, ironic, I guess, is that Jar mentions later on when somebody showed him inappropriate things when he was a kid, and guess that got internalized as being normal. Huh, isn't that interesting?
I really should have focused on being more professional and objective with the sensitive information around Synni. Instead, I took her at her word, and I gave her way more charitability than she deserved. As you can hear at the end of the full call I had with Synni, I said that I would be making a new draft in defense of Synni before I talked to Jack. But, yeah, I'm gonna be changing my video a lot, and I'm also gonna have to reach out to Jack because, you know, for all I know, you're-
Uh-oh. Have fun with that. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the video ready because knowing Jack is probably gonna panic and try to control the narrative. Like, I thought I was being fair by doing that because
You literally said with Synni in that call that you both feel like you're being evil. Here's the thing about a conscience. If you actually have one, it tends to tell you, you know, maybe I shouldn't have did this. Should have listened to it.
because I only talked to Synni after I had a draft ready to upload on her, but now I can see that was an incredibly stupid move. I was planning for Saturday to be a day where I would @ Jack on Twitter, along with a day to look over a whole bunch of videos about Synni to make sure that my information was correct. Unfortunately, the last draft that I was still in the middle of adding stuff to was leaked by Kumo, and I panicked uploaded what I had. As you can see from this screenshot, which is of my Synni video, I uploaded it unlisted on October 10th.
We all already knew this, and here's the thing, right? I'm kind of feeling about Kumo uploading that conflicted in a way because I can't argue with the results, right? It made Jar put out this video. It made you realize how stupid Jar's decision was here. I don't know quite at the moment how I feel about him doing it in general because there's a lot of argumentation there about whether it's fair use or not, yada, 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 whatever. But Jar, this doesn't matter. It does not matter.
which was a Tuesday, and the actual Synni video was planned to go live on Sunday, but then Kumo leaked this version of the video, so I foolishly decided to upload this version because the other one still wasn't finished.
Yes, and that's your fault, Jar. That's not Kumo's fault. All you literally had to say was, this is an alternate version. This is a version I was thinking about releasing that I didn't decide on yet. That's all you had to do. Alright? You did not have to go ahead with this. It was not necessary. It was dumb. Don't do it. Alright? Very simple.
I don't do YouTube full-time. I have a job. I have Saturdays and Sundays off. That's why I was trying to do extra research on Saturday. He got it through Romantic Goblin, as I was in the middle of asking people.
He actually didn't. He didn't get it through Romantic Goblin. That's the funny thing. The actual funny thing, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy. Hold on. Goblin got it, yeah. Yeah, gave it to Goblin. Jibs gave it to Kumo. Jibs gave it to Kumo. I love it.
To look over it to see if there was any mistakes I needed to correct. I asked people like Misanthropony.
Wait, no, don't you do this to me.
Look over it to see if there was any mistakes I needed to correct. I asked people like Misanthropony.
Okay, so I need to say something about this because I'm not happy. I do plan on responding to Misanthropony. The response to him is not going to be filled with anger. I'm going to try to reason with him. I found out the man lost both of his parents. That's just awful. Absolutely awful. But the fact that Misanthropony, in his video, called Jar a pedo-apologist, when this was only after Jar started getting heat, by the way. Only after that. When he saw the video, and apparently didn't say anything about it. This would have been the time where you say, what is wrong with you, Zaid? Or Diaz Station? What the heck? Do not send it to anyone. Watching it now. Just got home from work. Additionally, sorry for the slow replies. I'm playing through the Silent Hill 2 remake right now and putting together a consensus for my review of it. Do you think people will understand the point I'm making? Also, mind giving the video a like? Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Why does he do that? Fishing.
Misanthropony, a Kumo, not to be confused with.
I really hope that Akumo didn't watch this, because if he watched it and gave the okay, brother, you made a mistake.
Kumo and others if they.
The others said it was a good video and they asked not to be shown. Gee, I wonder why.
You could look over my video. I was even debating on whether I should have Chud look it over.
I can see you are not much for chatting. I just wanted to ask if you should react to my Synni Bear video. Would that be out of line on Sunday? Hey, sorry. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were after, but that's cool. I can take a look. Pictures taken moments before disaster.
Because he knew about the Synni situation. My roommate was also on a business trip and coming home on Saturday. I was planning to look over both docs with him very carefully. I have the worst case of dyslexia in the world, so...
Can you please stop blaming things under dyslexia? Because you do that a lot. Also, I do love this. Okay, so the context for this screen cap was there was this turbo dork that we dragged into Senate 2023, the end part of 2023, maybe early part of 2024, because he was like consistently harassing people in the SEC, where he admitted that he felt it was an addiction, like doing coke. So what does Jar write to me during this? I do a lot of drugs. Took me time to get off. Cock! Capital C. And I didn't even do it that much. He's full of crap. LOL. I love this screen cap. Remember, guys, it took Jar... Put this right up there with the joystick thing. It took Jar a while to get time off cock. It took me time to get off cock. It shouldn't take that long, Jar. Just stand up.
So it's very hard for me to do that myself. Yeah, my dyslexia often leads me to focus more on what I can hear rather than what I can read.
Text-to-speech, doofus.
Now I want to make this clear. When I have people look over certain drafts of videos I've made, I'm not just going to blindly agree with whatever opinion they have. If they disagree with something in my video, I have a discussion with them about it. That being said,
By the way, there are some horror stories of things Jar apparently tried to put in other videos that he had to be essentially browbeaten to not continue into. I'm not at liberty to say what they are, but whoever does, I hope you come with it, because it's hilarious stuff.
10 times it comes down to just me rewording a certain point. I can't even begin to tell you all the different opinions people gave me on how I should go about making my response to all the allegations.
The correct one would have been none. I see, Chris, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to beat me to the punch about that Google Doc I'm making about you being gay. It's not gonna work, Chris. I already got it. I have the regular screenshots. How dare you? Also, Chris, was that Smaggle that was arguing, saying that what I did is the same as Jar because, oh, it's the same thing? Stupid.
This is why I was considering having Chud look over the video, because I considered him to be an objective person.
No. You got Chud to look at it because you were hoping Chud would agree with you. You literally... Why is he lying about things that are publicly available? Like, if you're going to lie about something, don't make it like that. I don't think you should lie, ever, but still. You put it to him because you were hoping he'd join in.
Granted, I went back and forth on whether I wanted him to look over it privately or on a live stream. I was also encouraged to have Chud look over my video by people like Romantic Goblin and Synni.
You could correct me if I'm wrong, Kumo, but didn't you say the same thing on the Chud Logic stream, something she also watched but was happy with the conclusion of?
Yeah, no, I said the exact same thing on a stream that you had no issues with.
I agreed to do this, even though I didn't know that much about Chud. I just knew he did a video on me a really long time.
It's not hard, and you know what? I said this to, shoot. That creepy reading, when he was talking about, he says he thinks Mitzi only saw one of Chud's videos. Yes. Shoot, where was I going with this? Oh, yes. Creepy reading. He got onto Chud's stream and kind of got booty blasted on it. And, I asked him, why did you do that? You had to have known what he was like. Like, oh, I didn't watch any of his content. Like, maybe you should next time, buddy. Maybe you should before you hop on somebody's channel. Lord knows I've made that mistake, too. So I'm speaking to the choir from the choir.
Time ago, and out of any video I've ever seen on me, I thought it was the best one ever made. Ironically, he was covering my
Brother, it's not hard to do a best Jar video ever made, considering most of your detractors suck at it.
video on cancel culture.
Never know for what or when you'll be canceled. Maybe you were live streaming and you suddenly screamed out the N-word. Maybe you lied about a drama which caused people to dig into your past about other dramas you have talked about. Maybe you're completely innocent and the allegations against you are false.
I hate this, man.
But too many people are against you and they won't listen. Or maybe you don't have the evidence to prove your innocence. I know cancellation will come for me one day. It comes for everyone. It's not a question of if it will happen to me, it's when. Will it happen in 2025, 2022, or maybe this year? We won't know for sure until it happens.
Yeah, that video aged like a fine wine. I may not fully understand myself as a person, but I do understand that I say off-the-cuff stuff all the time, and that I'm autistic. Me getting cancelled was never a question of if it would happen, but when. I was never foolish enough to believe that I would be the only autistic man on the internet to never get cancelled. If my roommate came home
There's plenty of autistic people on the internet that never got canceled. They don't do what you did.
on time, he definitely would have told me, hey, this draft sucks and you need to change a lot of things about it. This is why I didn't ask my roommate to help me debate anyone. He loves debating and he's really good at it, but
You didn't debate anyone to begin with. You hopped on a live stream and got annihilated. That was not a debate. I made a similar comparison to a different matter in Catslayer today. What I saw on Chud's stream was essentially like in his prime Mike Tyson against a toddler. It wasn't even a fight. It wasn't a debate. It was just a murder.
he only had superficial context as to what was going on.
And I promise you, if you had brought your roommate onto Chud's stream, he also would have been murdered.
So it wouldn't have been right for me to ask him for help. Me asking him to jump into a random stream and help me debate a topic he didn't know that much about would have more than likely made things worse for me.
Well, I mean, you always had him come into the calls you've had. Anytime, to my knowledge, to the best of my memory, Jar was having a call with somebody to sort things out with me being there, his roommate would come in. Every single time. It got to a point to where in another call, I actually told him, Jar, stop bringing your roommate on things. He doesn't need to babysit you. Stand on your own 2 feet like a man and deal with the situations. Well, sometimes I misword myself. Okay, learn to word yourself better. Skill issue.
On top of that, with a little bit of the situation I did explain to him, he told me it was a bad idea to get involved. Yes, I absolutely regret not listening to him.
Womp womp.
I'm so sorry for it. Some people said I should have flagged or copyright strike down Kumo's video, but I'm gonna be honest here. Once a video is out there, it's kind of out there. And I've seen what happens to other YouTubers when they try to strike down a video. Long story short, it doesn't end well for them. Kumo uploading my video...
It actually depends on the reason. Like, okay, so earlier this year, I wound up copyright striking somebody, and the reason why I did it was because they just did a raw re-upload of my stuff. No commentary, no nothing. Checked with a lawyer. I was well within my legal right. Wound up provoking them simply because the person just agreed they'd stop posting nonsense. So, there we go.
ruined a lot of things for me. It kept me from reaching out to Jack and doing further research on the topic. Even if I didn't upload my unfinished draft, I still would have received a ton of backlash. Just not as much backlash as I'm receiving now.
That's a nice assumption, buddy.
Because of my lack of research on the situation, I did not understand how bad Synni really was, until I had a call with Himpleton. Yes?
Okay, so a little bit of inside baseball. Oh, I'm shrinking! Oh no! Oh no! I'm tiny now! There we go. I think that happened when I scrolled on something, sorry. I'm a boomer. So, a little bit of inside baseball. I actually had a call with Himpleton about a month or so ago. Well, I had to sit there and explain to Himpleton. Jar was not magically shown the light because you talked to him. And Jar is also a moron by thinking that this is going to do the thing. Because he was told well before a call with Himpleton. And if you want a good example of this, go to Queen Seraphina's channel. I think it's still up. There should be some live streams where Jar debates that creepy reading. And we got to a point where Jar... The whole debate was over Jar's Daft Peanut video, right? Not a very good video, apparently. But it got to a point where we had to discuss Jar defending that one weirdo who pretended to be a girl to get nudes from an underage guy. And Jar was so obsessed with the 3-year age gap as opposed to the catfishing and lying to get nudes. I had to scream at him, Jar, the age gap isn't the issue. The age gap is someone was willfully lying and manipulated to get nudes from a minor. That's the problem. Both the nudes of a minor and a manipulation, that by nature is predatory. I shouted, Tina Fey, thank you. I shouted that man down. And to the day all this happened, he apparently was butt mad that I did that to him. Well, Lio sided against me with Creepy. No, I didn't side against you with Creepy. I sided against you because you were wrong. And even then he didn't want to own it. Good Lord. Embarrassing for a grown man.
Yes, I understand he's getting...
And in fairness, there are things I sometimes don't get the first 2 times either. But with Jar, he never gets it.
...cancelled right now, which made my drama blow up even more, but he still explained the situation to me.
Jar, you get 0 victory laps. None. And Himpleton wasn't quote-unquote cancelled. Himpleton was clowned on. It's a difference.
And help me understand where I went wrong. So for that, I have to thank him. Apparently, Synni told Enno that it wasn't a big deal that she had a rape fetish at 11.
I want to die.
And she also got Enno, who was 14 at the time, to read out the, rape comic.
Which was in the doc. Really wish you and others would have looked at it. Yes, the Jonkler. Jar, you want to know how I got these scars?
And that makes the whole situation way more disturbing than I originally was led to believe. When I was 14, I did an unpaid internship for a ranger station, and one time this guy came by, and we were cleaning up the canyon together, and he showed me a whole bunch of porno magazines he found while cleaning up. He was an adult, I was 14, but I didn't feel disturbed by the situation. However...
Yes, and that man should have been beaten within an inch of his life. I don't know where anybody thinks it's appropriate to show a child pornography, especially like one-on-one like that. Like, it's a problem if like you're in a server and people are spamming, but it's a bigger issue when it's so isolated to that extent. Like, there's something wrong with whoever did that to you, Jar. The problem is you have to recognize that's a problem. Instead of saying, well, this is obviously normal. Dude, I've been through some crazy crap. I'm not going to pretend like it's normal. I know it's not normal.
However, he did not get me to read out the porno magazines or anything like that. When Himpleton explained this to me, that was...
Self-defense grooming. I hate you, Vlad.
...the moment everything hit me. Oh my god, I can't believe what I have done, and I'm so sorry for it. I should have done better research.
An actual apology. Now, whether or not it's honest, we don't know.
Now, granted, I am not happy with Himpleton leaking our call without asking me for permission first.
3-year age gaps depend on the exact ages, whether it's okay or not, 27 and 24. Okay, so you're just as daft as, ironically daft, as Jar is. The point isn't the age gap. The point is he got news from a minor and was deceptive in doing so. I think if anybody's coping BMW, it's you. You can find your way out of the chat or some of the mods can remove you. Don't care which.
And I'm also not happy with him saying he was pulling an op on me. However, he still...
Yeah, that was dumb, and people made fun of him for it.
did help me out a lot, so I have to thank him for that. Just to give you an example of the extra research I could have done on Synni, this doc was released on the same day Kumo uploaded my video onto his channel. Unlike the other two docs, it's short and straight to the point. If I saw this, I would have held off on uploading my video to do extra research. But because of what Kumo did, I panicked and uploaded what I had.
No, I'm not letting you get away with that. Not today, not ever. It is not Kumo's fault that you panicked. That is a choice you made. You made the choice. You are the one that hit the publish vid button. You're the one who made that decision. You could have easily mitigated this. And I'm telling you that as somebody who you apparently at one point in your video said, oh, EDP could have gotten away with it if he just said, haha, look at this. You are so unbelievably dense. Stop blaming other people for your actions. You are not a victim.
When I uploaded the Synni video to my channel, all I could think about was how unprepared I was for this situation.
Skill issue.
I came across as very arrogant in that...
Wait a minute, unprepared. So what happened to your Batman files? Batman has prep time. Come on, man.
Video due to past success of going against the mainstream commentary community opinion and coming out on top.
Okay, so let's look at this. The first one is the Camila Cuevas one, which, frankly, no. Hold on. Let me undo this. Shoot. Somebody hit a comment that didn't need to be hidden. Oh, wait, it got unhidden. Okay. Okay, so Camila Cuevas was easy to handle because she allowed child predators to run through her server unchecked. 20-something of them, by the way. Okay, Prison Bait Luke's hypocrisy. Dude, you were riding the wave of Prison Bait Luke backlash. Daft is a punk. All you did was cry about Daft in ways that are asinine. Why do things like this always happen? Okay, you're past, and we're going to get into this. Because this wasn't a whole bunch of creators ganging up on you. This was past experiences that you came back and fired back at. And for the record, I'm telling you to put a pin in this for a reason. Imagine lying about a small YouTuber, but I don't even remember what that's about, and I don't care. What really happened in the Antunes disaster? You defended a moron. That's what happened. Because you just had to be the contrarian.
Granted, often when I upload a video on YouTube, I get anxiety. I think to myself, oh no, this is the video that's going to get me cancelled.
I'm starting to feel a lot more like Mulan's father. That I'm going to go pray some more. Look, brother. If every video you make has you terrified of cancellation, two things can be true. Either one, you are not confident in your argumentation, or two, you have anxiety that needs to be treated. Because you're not a okay, so I know other people who have anxiety battling videos, but it's not because of the reasons you are. Some of them think people just won't like the video, or maybe people won't like my art or whatever. That's not the same thing. Stop arguing dumb points, and maybe you won't have that anxiety.
Hopefully it will go over well. That's why I try to hype myself up, because often when you come across as confident in a video, it makes people more willing to hear you out.
Brother man, you cannot fake confidence. You cannot fake it till you make it on that. People will snip that out immediately.
Granted, it's a double-edged sword because it can make you come across as an arrogant douchebag as well.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
As for the way I interviewed Synni, I have no excuses for myself. I was completely unprofessional with how I handled that interview.
Was it an interview? It was a cope session.
The interview was very cringe and my questions were leading. I was thinking about redoing it, but I thought that would be dishonest. Also, I leaked out the full version of the interview, not Synni. Lyle Convoy asked me for it, and I sent it to him after thinking things over for a few days. I could have said I didn't have it anymore, but
Yes, James, it's gross, but, like, I don't care. It's so much more minor compared to everything else.
I wanted to be honest. At the end of the day, I shouldn't have even entertained the idea of making that video in defense of Synni. It was reckless, it was stupid, and I deserve to be dunked on for it. The only part of the video that aged well is what I said about Jack. From the very beginning, I knew there was something that wasn't adding up about this drama.
You get no victory laps. You have earned nothing. You have not changed. You have not altered your behavior.
And it was Jack. They're getting bashed for stuff hard right now, but I know for...
Who cares and concerns of you? Like, Jack's got their own demons literal or figurative, mostly both, has nothing to do with your fumbling and your screw-ups. You get no victory laps.
For a fact, they're not going to leave the internet. They're way too addicted to it.
Looking in a mirror, huh, buddy?
My entire Synni video wasn't terrible, but enough take...
Yes, it was. The entire thing, from start to finish, was awful. It's like looking at a dog turd and thinking there's good parts of it. And no, I don't mean you can use it for fertilizer later. I'm talking about just the dog turd on the side of the road.
were so bad that I shouldn't have uploaded it.
You shouldn't have touched it. You shouldn't have been anywhere near it. You should have gone back to crying about woke XYZ things. And you know what? Vlad's right. Kumo's edit of your video was better, simply because it had cats I could enjoy if nothing else.
You might think that this video is over now. After all, my Synni video is the main problem people have, right? Well, surprisingly, no. In fact, I would actually go as far as to say that it's only 1/10 of the reason as to why I'm getting cancelled right now.
No, it's the main reason. It's about 90% of the reason. Moron.
Because Synni thought it would be a good idea to leak our DMs, even though I was sticking my neck out to help her.
Actually, no, that wasn't Synni's idea. That was Kumo's. He asked for them. She gave them. And, don't do stupid things if you don't want to be dragged for them. It's that simple.
Now, I've been called a simp for defending someone before. I've been called a simp for Peaches, Antunes, Mari, and many others. But because the DMs between me and Synni were leaked, the Simping Allegations actually have some evidence for once.
You cannot sit there and say that it's inaccurate later on by saying there's evidence for it. And here's the thing. I don't believe that Jar was simping for her. I don't believe Jar was actually attracted to her. I think Jar will put his foot in his mouth at any given time and will tell on himself worse than anybody else I've ever met in my entire life. Him saying, well, yeah, I'm probably attracted to her. She's a woman, I'm a man. That's just him putting his foot in his mouth about how he can be attracted to the opposite sex because he's straight. It's not an indicator of actual attraction.
However, the allegations of me simping for Synni are false. I can understand why someone would believe I was simping, especially if they didn't know me as a person.
It's irrelevant. Knowing you as a person or not's irrelevant.
To be real here, me saying wanna see my...
First person I did this joke with was Spotter. Oh, he spelled it right that time. But he delighted his Discord right after blocking me. I don't care.
My cock, followed up by a picture of a chicken, or me commenting nice pussy when someone shows me their cat, are common jokes I've made multiple times with multiple different people.
Yes, and I have said that to people to clarify that. However, don't.
I can't believe I used the same cock joke on the same person twice. The only compliment I gave her was calling her Mamacita. Here's the audio clip.
Jar did not admit sexual attraction to Synni, Mr. Gamer. He has a history of sexually harassing multiple women in his work. No, there's a difference between sexual harassment and not keeping his mouth shut or saying inappropriate jokes. It's not the same thing.
Alright, Mamacita, I'll hit you up when I get home.
I want to die!
As you can clearly see, I was making a race joke, not actually trying to hit on her.
And look, you can make those types of jokes with good friends. Like, okay, whenever I was first given Monstrous's cell phone number, which was like, oh god, well, after a year of meeting her, I sent her a picture of Nightwing from DC Comics. Just like a literal official picture. And I said, I have now given you an unsolicited dick pic. That's a lot different than saying, hey, want to see my cock, and then waiting.
When I do hit on women, I don't put on a voice like that. I can't believe people thought this was my attempt to sound sexy. I talk to both men and women like this, it's just how I joke around. For example, here are a few audio clips I sent to a Kumo, not to be confused with Kumo.
Me and you, man, we're gonna make some magic together. Kumo, trust me, our team up on YouTube is gonna result in yaoi being drawn of us. It's gonna be great.
By the way, I just want to point out that Jar was riding Akumu's coattails simply because Akumu was getting traction. I doubt he actually cares about anything Akumu actually says other than, here's another soldier in my anti-SEC war, who, I would venture a guess, doesn't actually care about anything you had to say. He's on his own grind.
Yes, yaoi, boys and lover.
Let's be real here. If I said this to Synni or any woman, I would never hear the end of it. I'm gonna be honest here, I think telling someone we're gonna make some magic together and that people will draw ship art of us.
No clue, but to be fair, we have a mayor named Mayor Wiener. Wait, down to what? In terms of pawns, I'm going to work out a little and shower. Searching for that porn from 2 years ago that made you come in since it... Why? What's wrong with you?
It's a lot more sexual than saying wanna see my cock and sending an image of a chicken. I also have ship art of me and another YouTuber. It's Manga Common, who is a guy. It's Rule 63 versions of our avatars kissing and
Yeah, about that, I just want to address something. Let me just check this real quick. Jar has admitted that Rule 63 gender swaps is a fetish of his. Side note, funny how the only time I make ship art of me and another YouTuber, it was Manga Comment. He has admitted this is a fetish of his. So yes, this is sexual titillation for him. So this isn't just, haha, look at the funny picture somebody drew. Come on, man. Stop being dishonest.
Underwear.
Now, the whole world pretty much knows what I jerk off to.
I have no desire, nor romantic interest in getting together with Manga Comment. If I had art like this commissioned of me and Synni, oh my god, I would never be able to get out of this. I also said this to her in our interview, which was the first time I ever had a call with her. Like, here's the thing, I'm way more sexist than racist.
At least you're admitting to it.
Well, you know, you're a woman. I'm gonna be honest here, being sexist towards women, even if it's done in a joking way, is not a good way to get them to fall for you.
I hate to say it, but you're actually wrong. It depends on what type of crowd you're with and the type of women you're going for. The women you've been obsessing with? Absolutely, because they have some sense. But there's plenty of people who've absolutely gotten into bed with people or in relationships by being a sexist piece of garbage or just making actual jokes. Jar, you have no life experience, brother.
As more and more DMs between me and other women got leaked, people started believing that I didn't simp for Synni, but I was simping for every woman I've ever talked to. I heard some people saying,
Well, I'm not going to say that if you throw a stone, as somebody else said, that you might hit somebody in the ACC that Jar has creeped out. I'm saying that you could throw it a mile further out than that in diameter, and you could still hit somebody.
oh, maybe he just talks to every woman like this. The truth is, I talk to every person like this.
Do you know that's worse, right? That's actually worse.
Both men and women. It's just how I joke around. Here's some friendly advice. Telling a woman, want to see my cock, and sending a picture of a chicken is not a good way to pick up chicks.
See, the thing is, he talks about how he does it with everybody, but he also promised he'd stop doing it when he got a girlfriend. Let me see if I can find it. I can't remember which it's on, so give me a moment here. Is it on my mobile, or is it on my... Give me a second. Ah, yes, it is here. It is here! Let me go ahead and turn this off Bluetooth. I shall give unto thee cringe. Cringe beyond cringe.
Hey, Leo, even though I have COVID, I think I should tell you, I'm gonna slow down on those jokes I've been making, because, well, found a lady, and she's okay with my sense of humor, so I can just use them all on her. Nothing tames a male more than a mate. Anyways, just wanted to tell you that I have COVID. So.
Yeah, so, no.
If I truly believed it was a good way to pick up chicks, then I would have pursued every woman I sent this to romantically. But aside
I mean, if they reciprocated, maybe you would have. I don't know.
from one, I don't think I've pursued any of
It's not, I don't have it on file, dude. It's in my DM conversations.
these women. Yeah, I did send this to my girlfriend as a joke, but we talked for several months before we actually got together. I didn't send it to her as a pickup line, I legitimately just thought it was funny. One of my thumbnail artists even sent out this voice clip.
What a cute little pussy.
I think it's pretty clear.
You need to be beat. People need to get soap in socks and beat you.
My tone of voice that I'm making a joke. I'm not actually drunk. But here's the context as to why I sent that voice clip.
If you had ever sent me that clip, I would have driven to where you live 3.5 hours from here and beaten you.
Cat the cat spelled with a K instead of a C. Next time you leak something out, make sure to edit your reaction. Saying Lamau implies you thought it was funny, not creepy.
Thundercats!
What the? I got disconnected and reconnected on Discord. Oh no. No, Jar. Sometimes women respond with things like that because they don't know what else to say, because you're kind of weird, and they don't know what else they can say. A lot of women aren't as strong in the... What the heck? Okay, I've had about enough of Discord doing this. They're not as strong in being honest or direct in their incomfortability. This is asinine. It's goofy. You're dumb.
Some people have accused me of sending the chicken image to get out of sending my dick when someone says no to me. Then why is it that of all the examples I have found, is there no one saying no to me? Pretty much every single questionable...
Can somebody please clip that? Turn it into a meme. Gallagher, where are you?
DM of mine has been leaked, so there should be at least one image of my joystick.
The Lord is long-suffering.
I'm not going to send a picture of my dick over the internet. Plus, I wouldn't want any of you males to feel inadequate.
You know, I'm not a professional at this. And you know, you can say what you can about my response video. But I never once mentioned my dick. Not once. Jar, you absolute gibbering buffoon. Why did you think that was a smart thing to put in here? All you're telling us is that yours is very small. Nobody asked. Nobody needs to know. Nobody needs to know about the metaphor. Shut up. Doofus.
I'm also not gonna lie, people trying to hunt down an actual picture of my cock is a little bit creepy.
Who would be doing that? Who would want to see that? Any other PP I have seen online has been against my will. I do not know who would go looking for that.
But of course, the big one is me falling asleep on calls with her. I'm going to be honest, out of everything, this was the main thing that I didn't want to get leaked out. I have incredibly bad sleep insomnia. I have blackout curtains, and I often use different methods to help me sleep, such as melatonin, NyQuil, and more. I even have earplugs and use a fan as background sound. Talking to someone as I fall asleep, waiting for the pills to kick in, is one of the easiest ways to help me fall asleep. I could only call Synni near the end of the day, when she and I were both off of work. It's not like I fell asleep while
He didn't want his PP to leak out. Thank you, Vlad.
the call was still going or anything like that. Professor Dreadlock has talked to me as I fell asleep numerous times. Unfortunately, he was on a business trip. Last time he went on a trip, I did this with someone else, and that person did not come to the conclusion that it was a romantic or a sexual thing.
That's not the point. Also, who cares? Like, of all this stupid crap you've done, who cares about this? But the more important question, if we're going to get into this, I'll get to it in a moment, because I got a very important question once we're done with this section.
Because of my autism, I'm very blunt with the request I make. Falling asleep on call.
I have met so many people on the spectrum that struggle to make requests or ask questions. That is not an excuse.
Call with someone was literally done to help me sleep. I was taking Adderall to finish up the Synni video, so that is one of the reasons why I had such a hard time passing out. I used to do what many people have referred to as sleepy time calls on Skype all the time. The only problem is Skype deletes your messages after 3 years.
Nobody cares!
I don't have the proof for that. Luckily, one of my old
Their argument isn't, well, you had a sleepy time call with this one person, therefore bad. Their argument is you're weird for it.
friends has agreed to give his testimony. Hey man, so we've been...
I cannot in my life imagine getting people together to talk about how I fall asleep. I want to die.
friends for like several years, right?
Yeah, so since like we were like 6 or 7.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And we moved in together. How many years or months would you say we lived together?
Don't you do it, Vlad. Chris is gonna fall asleep with me and call first. Don't you do it.
That would have been like 2016-ish, like maybe about like half a year or so.
And you told me that I was borderline asexual a handful of times, right?
You might have had a thing for Gonzo.
Also, everybody have fun with Aaron the Toy Enhancer. Who's been coping for like the better part of 6 months because he got dunked on in a freaking live stream. Dude's butt mad because he got picked on for having a dumb take on action figures. And he's been coping ever since. Go play Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with all your little weird friends. Nobody cares.
Our 470-pound roommate?
Why did you need to put that on screen? Why?
He was that heavy?
Yeah, but you did say I was borderline asexual a handful of times, right?
I guess so, yeah.
What do you think about the way I talk to both men and women?
Cringe.
I mean, you just don't have a filter in general. That's sort of like, you just talk to people sort of like wild stuff.
Yeah, I got warnings from both you and many other people that this would bite me in the ass one day, but
You're welcome for not listening, stupid.
I never thought it would be this bad.
Yeah, this is like a Heartsy if ever been cancelled.
Yeah, but the biggest issue people seem to have with me is not the inappropriate way I talk, but the way I fell asleep on calls with her, and
No, it's both. It's both.
that's why I had to come to you. Out of anyone, I think you know about my sleep patterns better than anyone else.
Yeah.
I want that to sink in. You know about my sleep patterns better than anybody else. Hello, other grown man. I want to die.
Like, it'll pace back and forth sometimes, just thinking these times, like now and then.
Was there ever
I need to get to sleep. I need to get to sleep. Is this why he stays awake sometimes in bed, like, consumed with anger about things that happened a decade ago? Is it because he can't sleep?
a time I talked to you as I fell asleep?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, it helped me fall asleep too now and then. It's just, it's good and relaxing, you know, like ASMR. Just hearing a person's voice is it's a good thing, you know?
Put on a podcast, doofus.
Yeah, did you ever think it was a romantic or sexual thing when I talked to you or any of our roommates as I fell asleep?
You know what? I just say yes, just a dick with him.
I mean, no, I mean, that'd be kind of weird if it was.
Yeah, I get that, especially when you consider the fact that we were all guys and I'm not gay.
I mean, you did kiss an Italian once, and you have kissed a dude more than once, so I don't know, man. I don't know.
Maybe 1 or 2 times with, like, Gonzo, but...
Shut the fuck up.
I almost did this as well with another person involved in this situation, and that is Romantic Goblin.
Using another woman as an example is not the best look. I don't think the other stuff needed fixing. It's beast if I paint her a little bad so people will watch the video. Not best, it is beast. You up for a VC? In a minute, let me finish up the video real quick. Okay, I'm not going to be up for much longer. It was 9 minutes. Yeah, sorry, I had to go help family with stuff. Stay helping family with stuff, Goblin. Please don't come back. Just forget about it. I'm going to pass out now. This is also the same person he begged to argue with people on his Synni Bear video, by the way, in the comment sections. It's fascinating.
I will admit, this is a weird and abnormal thing I do, but I don't do it in a romantic or sexual way.
It's still weird, and nobody needed to know.
Even Synni herself admitted she thought it was just me being autistic.
You know, like, how could he get caught in a cheating scandal or dumped by his girlfriend if nobody will believe it ever happened? And now you're acting uncertain that that was the case.
I didn't think it was at the time. At the time, I thought it was something, like, weird. I didn't think it was, like, an actual pass. Like, I was assuming that he was, like...
You're smarter than you're letting on.
Because I just thought it was strange to say, because it's just not something you say.
Because you thought it was a flirt.
Not really, it's just...
Well, then why would it be strange?
I mean... I don't know, it's just not very often.
So what else could it have been?
Just him being autistic? I don't fucking know.
Did you actually stay on the phone with him while he went to sleep?
I thought I was being a friend. I thought he was trying to be a friend to me.
Granted, she later changed her stance to the popular opinion, saying things like how she felt so violent.
Imagine making a claim without evidence while getting upset with people making claims without evidence. Thank you, Jar. Well, more importantly, another bigger issue is you were wanting sleepy time calls with somebody that you were quote-unquote investigating. Are you daft in the skull meat? Has it shriveled up more? No, actually that would give more wrinkles. Are you koala-brained?
By me. But I have to ask, where am I simping or cheating? I don't see this as simp behavior. I'm not constantly giving her compliments and money. At first people said this was cheating, then they later walked it back to emotional cheating.
I love that the majority of this video isn't about the wrong he's done, but trying to correct the record about things nobody actively really cares about.
There's the emotion in saying I want to see my cock followed up by a picture of a chicken. If there was some more evidence, like me constantly giving her compliments or confiding in her emotionally, then I think this would be an open and shut case. But the thing is, no one has any evidence like that. Kumo...
Stop touching your mouth, that will spread herpes? Brother, are you projecting?
Kumo knew what was going on. Why didn't he ask Synni to ask me how I truly felt about her, or something along those lines? That would have been undeniable proof, and I would have no way of getting out of it. Yes, I do find Synni's avatar attractive, but 99% of the time, people's
maybe a 3 out of 10.
avatars look a lot more attractive than they do in real life. Even my robot avatar looks more attractive than me. I didn't know what Synni looked like in real life at the time. I'm not going to hit on a woman that I haven't even seen before. Hopeless Peaches had an incredibly attractive avatar, but in real life she looked like an Albinoric from Elden Ring. Not the hot ones that ride on wolves, the ones that look like frogs.
You know, there's people who can take shots at Peach's appearance in reality. Jar, you're not one of them. You're not.
Asked for a picture of what Synni looked like in real life, and I never did a video call with her. I don't want people to believe that I was simping or cheating, but even if I can't convince any of you, there's at least one person who believes that I wasn't simping or cheating, and that's my girlfriend. And honestly, I think I should care more about her opinion.
Vlad says he is lying. Everyone knew what she looked like. Her PC was passed or her pic was passed everywhere. I wouldn't be surprised. He's lied a lot in this.
Than the opinions of random people on the internet. Don't get me wrong, with everybody yelling at me and all the videos made on me, I started questioning my reality, asking myself if I really did cheat on my girlfriend.
You're not a victim.
I was starting to buy into the negative hype surrounding me. I started believing that I cheated on my girlfriend, but after looking over things more clearly and talking with my girlfriend, I realized I didn't cheat on her, and I would never cheat on her. She's the most wonderful person I've ever been with. It's very odd that the main narrative around Synni was that she was a groomer but not a pedo, but now all of a sudden people are saying I rizzed up a pedo, or that I cheated.
Because it's easier to say, and because general commentary doesn't care about the specificities. They don't. They are not looking at this from the lens of who you were rizzing up and what they have done. They're looking at it from the lens of you were dumb enough to do it.
On my girlfriend with a pedo. Seriously, who do you guys think I am, Monkey Jones?
Stop bringing up other YouTubers to defend yourself, you absolute drooling moron!
I didn't have any sexy roleplays with Synni, or any roleplays for that matter. I never requested her to draw me any lewd art.
Did you guys do them together at all?
No, what the fuck?
He didn't make it like in your phone calls with him. He didn't do anything freaky.
No, he mostly just talked about fucking like Star Wars and shit. And I mostly just talked about my cat, like...
Not going to lie, that sounds like something I would do. Talking to a 10 out of 10 Latina about Ninjago lore is not a good way to get them to sleep with you. And I would never hit on someone by talking about Star... That has also worked in picking up women before. Holy crap, you're just incompetent.
Now, I did admit that I wanted Synni as an ally, but I didn't elaborate on what I meant by that. I've been working with a Kumo, not to be confused with Kumo, who was slandered by the ArchCC. I was also slandered by the ArchCC, and I thought...
You were never slandered by the ArchCC. You were slandered by independent actors who were dumb and needed to be slapped. And on top of that, the other people who did genuinely slander you was from DeviantArt!
Synni was as well. I worked with Peaches, who was slandered by the ArchCC, and we did...
She was, by the biggest name in the ArchCC. How'd that work out? Well, now Creepshow Art's gone. You're not a victim, dude. You're not.
Did a lot of good together, but Peaches only went after people who talked about them.
No, that's actually not true. As much as I would love to agree, that's actually not true. And more importantly, what do you think you did?
Knew I couldn't stop people from getting slandered by the ArchCC by myself.
The ArchCC is not a monolith. They're not some giant monster that's out there to slay people. It's not a dragon you can fell.
Needed help. But stopping commentators from slandering people, even if it's a niche group of commentators, is an absolute pipe dream, and I'm giving up on it.
For now. You'll come back to it the minute the heat's off.
I didn't help people like Hopeless Peaches, Antunes, Mari, or Princess Elizabeth 013 with the expectations that they would return my kindness one day.
You kind of did, though. You kind of did. Also, I'm going to ask the real question. Do you think he had sleepy time calls with Antunes? I wonder if he did.
Granted, I always hoped that they would join me and help me help out other people who were slandered, but it almost never happened. Putting my channel and reputation at risk to help another YouTuber rarely gets me views or any form of benefit.
Yes, because 74,000 and 57,000 views are totally small in comparison. No, it's not. And more importantly, maybe if you defended people that weren't scummy like Antunes here, you'd have a better time. But instead, you always chose the worst of targets.
Often it means I will have to deal with their haters from now on, or they'll come after me for not helping them out enough. I'm not the best judge of character, and I think it's time I...
Peaches didn't come after you. At no point did Peaches come after you. All Peaches did was talk trash about you behind your back. It's garbage. Not gonna deny it, but she never came after you. You lying scumbag.
I stopped trying to be a little internet hero. I now understand more than ever before why other people don't do this. I want to make this...
Because it's emotionally taxing. Because you have to give part of your heart and soul trying to actually do right by people. It has nothing to do with whether or not you didn't get the kudos you thought you needed. It's not about that.
Clear, whenever I defend anyone, I'm not saying they're a perfect little angel who didn't do anything wrong. Not every allegation about Synni was true, but enough of them were.
Which ones were wrong? Can you tell me that? Can you tell anybody that?
But I know you guys aren't just here for the stuff about Synni. You're also here regarding the allegations involving the image of Jaiden Animations lifting up her shirt. First of all, yeah, I always had a thing for Jaiden Animations' avatar. I've never kept that fact hidden.
Maybe she ought to get a restraining order on this guy.
I even asked her out on a date at the end of my first Pina video, and then she immediately uploaded a video saying that she was asexual.
We bullied him for this consistently. Some people in Chris's stream were saying, no, he wasn't serious about asking Jaiden out. No, actually he was. He was fascinated with this woman. He really thought she was attractive. And the fact that she puts out a video the next day about being ace... Like, we said, man, you have gotten rejected unintentionally in the worst way possible, and we are here for it. It was hilarious.
Jesus, I've never been rejected that hard. But
based!
Of course, the more important part about all of this is the age of the person who drew this picture for me.
Yeah, stupid.
A document was made roughly a week after I got involved in the Synni drama.
And for the record, some obsessive dork is claiming that this Google Doc was assisted by the help of that creepy reading. I have literally no evidence or reason to believe that's true. I've also had some people, because they saw me in the previous messages of the person who made this doc, thought that I had something to do with it. I had nothing to do with this thing being made. From what I understand, the person who made it did it all on their own. I could be wrong, but that's all I know.
Basically, a person who I will be referring to as K was in one of my Discord servers. According to their document, they were in a VC with me, and I made a request for my avatar to be S.A.ing Jaiden Animations. He yelled at me that there was a minor in the call.
She changed this to rape in her interview. What do you... Oh my... Never mind.
And I lowered the request to just Jaiden Animations lifting up her shirt. And K, who was 17 at the time, was the one who drew it for me. The most damning claim in this document doesn't have any evidence to support it. To my knowledge, the call...
I mean, there kind of is, and we'll get to that in a moment.
Wasn't recorded, and I don't think I or most people would remember what they said in a specific VC over 4 years ago.
Oh, don't even. You remember things people said to you more than 4 years ago. You remember things that happened almost a decade ago on a call. You were telling me about the calls you had with Chaos55T in the DeviantArt Skype room days. Don't even.
I don't know what I said, but I don't think I said that. I'm pretty sure this was just put in the document to make me sound as much like Synni as possible. My best guess is I was making a video about Jaiden Animations porn, and I wanted something to be used in a thumbnail, and Kay offered to do it for me so she could get the art role. Let's be honest here, this picture of Jaiden looks like it would be more at home in a thumbnail than in someone's wink bank.
You're dumb.
After they made the art for me, several months later, they told me that they were 17 at
Yes, and here's the thing. Thanks so much, OMG, you made porn of Jaiden for me. You're calling it porn yourself, stupid! And then, yeah, I was 17 at the time, and I wanted to get that robot art role. If you'll notice, he didn't respond with, wait, you were 17? Or, whoa, if I had known that, I wouldn't have asked for it. No, just absolute silence until the next day, where then he responds, same to you, about Merry Christmas Eve. You're not helping yourself here, doofus. You're not.
The time they made it. When I saw this message, I didn't know how to respond. It was just before Christmas, so I got ready for the holidays and forgot all about her message. So as you can see, they told me their age after they made the art. According to their document, they didn't want to come out about this sooner because I was a big, scary, and intimidating YouTuber. But the thing is, I was getting canceled about 4 years ago during the Prisonate Luke and Toby drama, and that—
Yeah, because you were stupid. You made your bed. Doofus.
was only a few months after they made this art for me, so that would have been the perfect time to release this. The people I was dealing with back then were cartoonishly uncharitable. She really missed out on a big opportunity.
Because all you look at things through is the lens of opportunities and art stuff and YouTubers instead of looking at it through the lens of, maybe there's a reason why now that I'm being actually dragged properly, people are coming out. And here's the thing, he's gonna own on, he's gonna sit here and grind on this like a man trying to sand down some fine wood. That this is just conspiracy. Well, why didn't it come out earlier? I don't know, Jar. Why didn't you come out earlier about what the DeviantArt people did to you? Oh, I know, because you were scared. And you admitted that. You are a vindictive, obsessive, vengeful little weirdo, and the moment they would have come out, you would have been dragging everybody in to help you out. This person's slandering me. Please argue with them in the comments. This person, what are we going to do about this, Lio? This moron was acting like I was his personal attack dog because somebody said something mean to him or wrong about him on Twitter. It's like, what are you going to do about this? It's like, touch grass. Let it go. Stupid. That's why they didn't come out earlier. Because now people are actually looking at you for things you've done instead of random things made up by morons like Kai Weiss. I'm sorry, but no. That's why. Because you have terrified these women to the point where they'll be quiet. And part of it, you know what the thing that actually makes me mad about some of it? You used me to do part of it. Because anytime you got into a scrape with somebody, you dragged me in. And whether you realize it or not, I think you did, people paid a lot of attention to what I was saying, and you knew they'd listen, or, likely, you knew they'd be too bothered by the possibility of me sticking up for you to actually fight back. I actually am very bitter towards you for that. I never wanted to hurt these people. You put me in that position willfully because you got mad at Twitter likes. I was trying to help you be a decent person, and your response to that was to try to use me as a weapon. You need to leave.
You can also see from our DMs, which Kay showed from the bottom up for some reason, she was always the one starting the conversation with me and not the other way around. Literally, the last
cool, that means nothing.
Quote-unquote conversation we had was the same year the Synni drama happened, in 2024.
By saying happy 4th of July, a Halo clip, sometimes people stay in contact with people they don't like to make sure they don't melt down on them.
If I was a big, scary, intimidating YouTuber, then why did they continue talking to me?
Why did you talk to people you were scared of, Jar? Why did you keep communication and friendly chats open with people you were terrified would come after you? You were terrified of Harley and Mally and Streamline and Ponder and all these people. Had no problem talking to them. Do you think before you say anything? Does anything happen in that dense skull of yours? You have 2 brain cells, Jar, and both of them are arguing about 3rd place.
Why did they make the art just for a Discord role? And if they thought it was wrong, then why didn't they tell anyone about it before the drama around me happened? After they got slight pushback, once they put this document out in the public, they deleted their Twitter. So they kind of just nuked themselves and me for literally no gain. However, the document was out just long enough to do lasting damage to me. Even Chud, Kuimon, and Himpleton, along with their chats, thought this was a bit ridiculous.
The lasting damage is that you're too stupid to make sure you ask for proper ages. Nobody's calling you a pedophile over this. And as somebody who has people try to claim that about him over action figure takes that made somebody butt mad, trust me, buddy, it could have been worse, but you've got to be a victim. You're a victim of all these terrible people who, checks notes, gave their opinions about you.
Keep in mind, I'm public enemy #1 right now, so my reputation is
Buddy, you're not near the top of the list. You're not anywhere close. Sit down.
At an all-time low, which means the charitability people will give me is not very high. She got interviewed and admitted to being overdramatic. However, there's a reason why I'm calling her Kay instead of her Discord name, and that's because I don't want you to send her any hate. Now, I understand her name is already out there in other people's videos, but I personally don't want to send her any more hate for one specific reason, and that's because she acted completely differently in the interview than how she came across in her doc, which to me heavily implies that someone else wrote it for her, or at the very least, someone manipulated her into writing the document in the way she did.
No, doofus. Here's the thing. Jar has admitted multiple times that he's better in talk than he is in text. But somehow the reverse of that means nothing. Means nothing to you. Jeez Louise. What do you think I didn't notice, Chris? Enlighten me. He will hide this person's name, but show cast Discord on him. Yes, obviously. But it doesn't even matter that he hit her name. The people who have interviewed her know her name. They've talked about it. They've addressed her as such. This is the dumbest thing ever.
I can't believe that throughout my entire time on the internet, I've only requested 2 pieces of quote-unquote goon art.
You're a lying piece of garbage. You have regularly said people need to draw more porn of you. There is a post up on your Twitter to this day where you talk about how, finally, some porn of me because somebody drew some of you. You lying, duplicitous piece of cowardly trash. Who do you think's gonna believe you? Who do you think is gonna believe you? Nobody. Maybe people in your comment section, because frankly they don't care about the reality it is, like the fact that you talk about the Star Wars and the woke and God knows what else.
And one of them caused this much drama around me. Goddamn. Yeah, aside from these 2 images, there's no other piece of goon art that I have requested.
No, we are fixing that right now. Where is it? Where's that? Where's the gay table? That's gonna get clipped. Was it that one? Or was it the cinema? I think it was the cinema. No. Oh, it was the Jarmageddon chat. We have a VC in my server called the Jarmageddon chat because of all this. I'm proud of that one. Let me see if I can find the screen cap I took specifically for this event. Dead air, I know, make fun of me, yada yada yada. Should have had this pulled up, yada yada yada. I get it. Hush your face. People had some opinions, to say the least. There it is. Gonna open this in browser. Gonna pull it over here. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but he says, in response to an account that no longer exists, that did gay porn of him, "About time someone made gay porn of me." Jar, do you think that is not encouraging people to draw porn of you? You moron! Look, here's the thing. When it comes to the discussion of pornography in people's sonas and whatnot, most of the people, like me, I don't care for it. I think it's disgusting. I think that you're a weirdo if you do that without people's consent. Alright, gotta be clear about that. But Jar, you have absolutely requested this on multiple occasions. Stop lying to people. This entire video is coping and lying.
I have one of them just to see if someone would make it just for a Discord role, and the other one was to fuck with Manga Common.
Because I often send sexual art to my friends to harass them, yes? Right, Jar? Does a Jar take?
Only evidence that exists that implies I knew her age at the time was from this screenshot.
Also, it was from the fact that you didn't respond negatively to some... Doggone it, I hate you, Vlad. it's also the fact that she said, I'm 17, and your response wasn't, oh my god, no. It was, nothing. That's the evidence, Jar. Moron.
However, I'm dyslexic, so I only skimmed.
Your dyslexia means nothing to me. It's not an excuse for anything. Text-to-speech exists.
Her message and replied with, "That's sweet of you, thank you," just so I could be polite. I was talking to a lot of people back then. I'm not gonna read that much text from someone I barely know. That's way too much work. Reading gives me a massive headache. As for her age and birthday in her bio, back then I didn't really check those, plus it doesn't show up on my laptop for some reason. It does, however, show up on my mobile device, but I use Discord on my laptop 99% of the time. If anyone knows why this is the case, please tell me in the comments down below. However, I still made a mistake.
Who cares?
Whether she was 7, 17, or 70, I should have 100% asked for her age beforehand.
That's all you had to say! All you had to say when this is brought up, I should have asked her age beforehand. That's on me. I screwed up. Instead of, well, here's why it didn't happen. Here's all the excuses. Oh, also I should have done better. You absolute industrial grade foul up.
So for that reason, I have to apologize. Okay, I'm sorry for being an irresponsible server owner. You were 17, and it was my job to check your age beforehand. Now some people, like Ghost Cato, have tried to
Ghost Cato. They're dead now. Ghost Cato. Okay, so real quick, just a little bit of things. So they wound up getting themselves in some drama this past week. From what I understand, my conversations are taking the lumps and moving on. Right? That's all you really can do when you script to that degree. I was talking to somebody a day before Goat reached back out to me. And this person was telling me about how they bought the series DVD of Ed, Edd, and Eddy. Good show, great show. And how they want to review it at some point. And I told them, Rolf is the GOAT, and next time somebody comes to me apologizing and talking to me, I'm going to ask if they have brought the cupcakes of sorriness. I did that to Goat Cato. And you know what? Immediately respond with a gif of a cupcake. That's funny. Now, granted, I will say in this thread, I don't believe that Goat's correct at all. I don't know why Goat called him, like, a predator or whatever. Predator by feather flock together. I don't know why. I haven't asked. This is the first time I've seen this, but that's irresponsible. We'll talk about it later with Goat. And by we, I mean me.
Increased this allegation all the way to a grooming allegation. No wonder why Just a Robot was so eager to defend Synni. Skullface, pedos of a feather, flock together, IG. Where did they get the pedophilia from this?
You are not a victim! Who gives you this nonsense? You shouldn't be looking at any of this, you doofus!
Jaiden Animations is the same age as me. It's not like I was asking for sexy artwork of that anime VTuber shark girl.
They are not. The point isn't the pornography topic or title or what's the word, target. The point is you asked for it from a child.
Girl or anything like that. I have to say, if you actually believe this is grooming, then I must be the worst groomer in the world. I make
somebody clip that.
Make them draw one picture for me, then barely interact with them for 4 years.
I made you all listen to that because I had to. Suffer. If you ever have an apology video where you have to talk about a fart fetish, you have lost. And here's what I'm going to do, alright? I'm going to spare all of you at least one piece here. I am going to hide the screen because it is actually gross and disgusting. I am not subjecting you all to that.
The next big allegation against me is kind of like the first one. I sent this image to someone who was apparently a minor at the time. I sent it because I honestly thought it was funny. Like, I think you guys can see the comedic nature of this image. Here's all my DMs with this person. As you can see, we barely spoke, and they sent me some inappropriate stuff, like a video about
Kronk rates your cock. Is that where Jar got his confidence from? Did he say, oh, this fictional character said mine was big, so therefore I will talk about it being big?
The size of your dick. I acknowledged their age near the end of the chat because I just found out what their age was around this time. However, I did not check their...
You literally said, alright, because you guys can see, he talks about how the guy's balls have finally dropped. Yes, fantastic way to talk to somebody. And no, I don't know if Jar has a fart fetish. I don't care. It's not my problem. As Vlad said in his video earlier today, not my fetish, not my problem.
Their age at the time, so to comedic autism, I am sorry for not double-checking.
And yes, Vlad, it's only bad when the minor sends him the bad stuff. He's not a victim.
Your age before sending you this image. Now, some people have accused me of having a fart fetish from this image, even though I think it's the only fart image I've ever sent, and I sent it because I thought it was funny, not because I thought it was hot. Some people have even said that the person in the box is me.
No one cares!
I guess everybody forgot how to reverse Google image search.
Nobody wants to reverse Google image search that. I am suffering even looking at it.
Not every bald guy is me. That's fucking dumb.
You're dumb.
I sent this image around the same time I requested the Jaiden drawing, so it's clear to me that back then I wasn't very good at checking people's ages. But I have learned to do so, and as far as I'm aware, I haven't repeated this mistake. No one called me out for this back then, I just corrected it on my own. I think there's only one more big allegation against me that I think I need to go over. And that's the stuff surrounding VidCon 2023.
Yes. You broke the law. Allegations.
First of all, I'm a little shocked that they held on to this for over a year.
You absolute buffoon. You have held on to things people did a decade ago. You had an entire file system about people you feel wronged you. Shut your idiot hole.
Yeah, the ArtCC wasn't planning anything against me. Nothing at all.
I hate you. I actually hate you at this point. No, they weren't planning anything against you, you drooling, stumbling moron. If they were, they would have nuked you by now. They would have come at you by now. They just didn't want you to mess with them, be around them, talk to them. You should have respected that instead of going with more conspiracy. Because here's the thing, Jar, pay attention, because I know you're going to listen to this. Or somebody can spam you with it. I don't care. If they wanted to come after you, this would have been a perfect time. And they didn't. They gave their stories to someone else and held back, by the way. They had worse things they could have said. They chose not to.
Basically, just before VidCon started, I showed off my new thumbnail for my Spoctor video. Obviously, it had an EDP joke in it because, well, I love making jokes about EDP. Bro is the most exposed man on the internet. And Spoctor had the nudes of a 13-year-old on his flash drive, and EDP went to go meet up with a 13-year-old. So that was the thought process behind the joke. People in the ArtCC had an issue with this, and eventually I came to the conclusion that the problem was that people would come across this thumbnail and immediately assume I was comparing him directly to EDP. So I decided to change it. Now,
yeah, fun fact. Jar was molding about changing that for about 2 years. There was one point, I was working a lot, I was exhausted because of what Peaches was putting me through, and he was like melting down in my DMs about how he's just going to change it back. And then 30 minutes go by, and he's like, aren't you going to tell me not to? I'm like, Jar, I am too tired to argue with right now. This is not the first time he's done something like that. So after I had told him what I did, right? After all of that, he told me in DMs, and you know what? If a streamer wants them, let me know. I'll send you the screen caps. I don't care. That he expected that if he got out of hand, that Ponder and I would stop him. Brother man, you're dumb. You're dumb. Why are you dumb? Hello, people I've slandered and ridiculed and said horrible things about and help groceries. Please help me when I get stupid. Please stop me. No. Screw you. If you're dumb enough to ride around in a freaking race car with no seatbelt, drinking, and heading straight to a tree, buddy, I'm not hitting your car to swerve it. Hit that tree.
Oh, granted, they don't seem to have the same problem with other clickbait titles and thumbnails about me.
You dishonest snake! Look, I'm not going to sit here and say the ACC doesn't have screwed up priorities in some cases. They do in some cases. I'm talking about the overall gamut. The entire commentary community sometimes has screwed up values. At one point, maybe we'll talk about it. But you know what the thing is about all this, Jar? All these people with these thumbnails, they're not ACC people, and they're not people the ACC has connections with. I promise you, if I got all these people in a room and asked them what they thought about these screenshots or these thumbnails, every single one of them are going to condemn them for one way or another. If nothing else, because it certainly isn't going to be out of defending you, out of an anal obsession with accuracy. You absolute koala-brained dingus.
But I guess it's one of those rule for thee, but not for me kind of things. But I still thought we were on friendly terms and we would meet up at VidCon. I sent this inappropriate joke to Mal.
Alright, this has gone over, but I'm going to go over it here. Gotten to the Airbnb yet, but once things are settled, although I'm not sure I'll be there in time for VC stuff during VidCon. Jar says, we could talk in person at VidCon. Trust me, and just you and me over drinks. No. Maybe you could come to my hotel room with my LOL JK. I want to be very clear about something. When these were actually sent to me, right after this happened, I had some words with Jar. I was pissed. Because Jar coached this to me like he was just doing a ha-ha to ponder. It was just a prank, bro. I didn't know any of this. Any of this was going on behind the scenes when he told that story. Because if he did, wouldn't have been funny. I appreciate the effort, Okami Puzzle, but please don't call me that. No way. No way. I'm not going to spend VidCon time on that sort of thing. I want to focus on holiday stuff, which is fine. Who cares? Did you see the last message? Sent at the same time as my message, LOL. But also XD, still no way. This is what we call a no. A no! That is what this is. That's a no! No! Right here, it's no! F. Well, I would still like to meet you. I do hold your opinion as high as Peaches and Lyos. Which means nothing. Because I want to be very clear. In taking a step back and looking at how Jar treats people in general, it's very clear to me that he passed things to me not because he was actually wanting my opinion, but because he was hoping I would tell him it's okay so he could use me as a shield. That's what he did in this situation too.
And she did not take very kindly to it.
Oh, but they do not like Spoctor at all, so they might have had a lapse in thinking. He had CSEM on a thumb drive. What lapse in thinking? I just haven't seen someone say, you weren't hard enough on Spoctor until you came along. Or word. I can't actually tell because of you today. Oh, you, actually I can't tell. Either way, it doesn't matter.
I should note that I was a bit high at the time. Weed is illegal in Texas, but in California it's very easy to get.
I'm just gonna let that sink in.
But the bigger issue was me constantly pushing to meet up with her.
Yes! But you're still framing yourself as the victim here. I'm not at VidCon anymore, going home to rest, so nah. Enjoy your day. I meant tomorrow as I also left. I think it closes at 9 or 10. Now, here's the fun thing. If you actually go to Mally's channel, and you, if you look at her video on this VidCon, I think it was 2022, I think, or 2023, I can't remember. I've slept since then. She talks about how she had a very heavy trip at one point. Had to be escorted back to the hotel. Can you imagine poor Mally, like, drugged out of her mind, seeing this lumbering golem walking around? That'd be terrifying. Like, I'm a grown man who knows how to hurt people. I'd be scared. I don't really want to meet up. Don't want to talk about YouTube work drama. Understandable. You're enjoying a vacation. Don't want to talk about the video and Twitter stuff. Just vibing with my girls. You know, I'll go ahead and say this. Mally actually messaged me when Jar's video dropped, wanting to know why we thought it was okay, because it was Peaches and I. And I had just woken up. I was stupid, and I just called Mally just immediately. Just to find out she had just gotten to the room with the girl. I still feel bad about that call. I don't know what I was thinking, just calling out of the blue. I don't want to talk about any of that. You just said you want... I hate you. Just want to say hello, have a handshake, and leave. You asked her to drinks. Sport. But it was really bad time for all this drama to go down right before the con. Lord. To be honest, it's not because of any of the drama. I just want to spend time with my friends and enjoy my VidCon meet and stuff. Don't think it's a drama thing. Just doing my own thing on holidays. Right there. Don't think it's a drama thing. Just doing my own thing on holiday. Such a crime.
Eventually I told her that...
Then he keeps going on. And going on. Let's see here. To be honest, it's not because of the drama. I just want to spend time with friends. Okay, but please know I won't be like... Woman, you were too scared to come in VC. Now you have nowhere to run, and I got a gun. I really just wanted to talk for 15 seconds and F off. Who says that? Ah! I had to sit this man down like a literal child and tell him how out of line that is, how ridiculous of a statement that was. And no wonder they got freaked out by him by talking about that. And she even tells him, okay, that's a little freaky that you didn't even think of that. Didn't cross my mind. Congratulations, you told on yourself, Jar. I don't know what the Seth thing is. I don't think there's anything to sort out. You and Haru should just separate and move on. Friendship over. Lio can't mediate for a friendship. He sure did try! Nor should he. Moving on.
I'll leave her be because I had no more plans to meet up with her because she didn't want to see me. Now, I did later apologize for this, but unfortunately it came a little bit too late. Admittedly, I should have stopped after she said no the first time. I was walking around at VidCon doing stuff at different panels.
You are a lying, dishonest creep. You apologized when you were backed into a wall on a call where you were given no wiggle room, where people had to browbeat you into recognizing that, and after you tried to claim she lied about how she felt. Liar.
Eventually, I got hungry. I bought some ice cream, I sat down to eat it, and then I heard Ponder's voice and looked to my left, seeing that she was sitting right next to me. So I shook her hand.
If ever I'm walking around and I hear Ponder's voice, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get stabbed in the next moment because of all the short jokes I've made.
And revealed who I was. She exclaimed, "Oh my god," and I walked away. I thought it was funny. Ponder described this interaction as a lot more creepy than it really was.
Yes, because you are coming from the perspective of the creep. I'm sure Jason Voorhees probably thinks he's a good guy.
Adding things like me squeezing her hand and other stuff like that. Or that I was laughing maniacally as I walked away. I did laugh, but it wasn't until I was...
She didn't say you laughed maniacally. Go back and watch the video again. That's not what she said. You're lying about... Again, he once again lies about things that are public. Don't lie about things that are public, doofus.
Inside. She talked about this interaction literally a year later and drew me as a sexy elf boy for some reason.
Brother, you think that's sexy, you are not beating the gay allegations. The gay allegations, if you will. Or the allegations. Whichever ones you guys want to go with. But he sits there and, like, to pick on manga comment, theory crafts. Yes, I know she's there. Theory crafts that they were holding on to this for so long. They were plotting. Brother, the only person who takes longer to make a YouTube video in this sphere than Ponder is Erin Tempest. It takes her forever. Her entire reason of getting this out nearly a year later was, I need to get this out before VidCon or the girlies may kill me. It has nothing to do with you, hombre.
She kept me anonymous, of course. A bit odd that my anonymity was important until I was getting bashed. I'm confused as to what the...
That had nothing to do with her. That's technically Kumo's doing. I did talk to Kumo about the story you told me, and he just ran with it and said it publicly, because I guess asking first was not there, but whatever. Feel bad about that still, but still.
Allegation is here, it's just a handshake. I didn't put my arm around her and say the N-word.
Stop comparing things to other YouTubers. It does not make you look less stupid or creepy. You creeped out people. You were actively engaging with people you knew didn't want to be around you. What is wrong with you?
Ponder has drawn my avatar in very compromising positions.
Okay, technically not safe for work, but they're a bit flirty or odd. Never asked her for these or suggested these to her. We were never in direct contact at the time. Okay, this is not sexual. Like the maid dress, not inherently sexual. Alright? I've had people draw me in drag before. I don't care for it, want to be clear. Alright? I don't care for it. Now, one could make the argument with this other one. Okay? That's the one thing I will give Jar in this video. If roles were reversed, that would be a lot worse. However, pointing to somebody else's actions from 6 years ago to try to excuse your real-world creepy actions is dumb and gross and freak behavior.
A handful of times without my request or consent. I want to make this clear, I don't really care how she drew my avatar. If the genders were reversed, what I did would have been seen as no big deal, but what she did would have been seen as a huge deal. The problem with this allegation is I don't know what people are accusing me of. It was just a handshake. People have claimed
They're accusing you of creeping up on them. Because here's the thing, right? Let's say I was at VidCon, and there were people there who didn't like me. I'm sure there's a lot of them. And I knew they were right next to me. Would my response be, I'm going to troll them. I'm going to shake hands. No, it'd be like, you know what? These people don't want to be around me. I'm going to get up and remove myself from the situation. Because that's what you do when you don't have people wanting to be around you. Alright? That onus is on you, sport. They didn't know what you looked like. They do now, though.
Cheated on my girlfriend by doing this, even though we got together after this interaction occurred.
Yeah, by the way, you're welcome. I'm the guy who made sure people knew that.
And I think a handshake is one of the most unromantic things you can do with a person.
Depends on how you do it.
I don't think this is sexual assault, it's just two hands touching. I wasn't hunting the others down at VidCon. If I was, I would have just stayed there with Ponder. I knew she...
Or you wouldn't have. You would have done your intimidation and walked off. This might be a he said, she said, but there's several witnesses to what you did. And you're the only person telling me your side.
I was friends with them, and I knew they were going to meet up. Basically, the allegation about me hunting the others down at VidCon has no proof backing it up. In fact, all the proof seems to contradict that claim.
No, it really doesn't.
I sat next to Ponder by complete accident. I wasn't going to pass up on that opportunity.
You should have just gotten up and walked away. You knew. You knew better. And you know what the sad thing is? I didn't know about this at the time. Because when he told the story and sent it, yeah, it sounded funny. It sounded like Ponder just got pranked. I had no clue about the background behind all this. I had no clue that they were literally freaked out because of all his creepy, weird comments to Mally. But when I found out, he got a talking to. And maybe if I can find that call, I might publish it just to be spiteful. There's sort through the 2,000 different ones I have, but still.
Then there was another allegation about me hunting them down at VidCon 2024. From the video evidence I have seen, the video footage just shows them running or hiding from someone who is allegedly me, but they don't show me in any of their video footage.
Why would they? Why would they actively film you? If their intention was to get away from you, they're not going to point a camera at you, stupid!
There's not one single shred of evidence that I was looking for them. Sure, I was keeping an eye out for Ponder, and if I saw her, I was just going to say, hey, did you see Kumo's new video on you?
That is terminally online behavior. So here's what I want people to do. Whenever you go to VidCon, if you see Jar there, ask him how many of the videos on him he's seen. Since he thinks that's acceptable, return the favor to him.
And then walk away. And that was about it. If there was video evidence of me running up the escalator to catch them, or chasing them around at panels, that would for sure make me look very creepy.
Frankly, if that had happened, I would have hoped somebody would have shanked you and let you bleed out on the floor. Well, Lyle, that's extreme. Yeah, I know it is. I know what I said.
But just for the sake of argument, let's take their word on it. Let's say I was hunting them down at VidCon and chasing after them. Then what was I going to do when I...
Just the freaking lumbering SCP that is Jar comes for you.
Caught them. Shake their hand again. Sorry, but I'm going to keep going to VidCon. I'm not looking for you guys, and I hope you guys aren't looking for me. We can...
They will absolutely look for you, if nothing else, but to make sure they avoid you. And now that everybody knows what Jar looks like, yeah. You know what? If Jar wants to operate by that value, fine. The Bible says treat others as you would like to be treated. Jar wants people to approach him and ask him if he's seen XYZ video on them. Do it.
Can both enjoy
For the record, that's not harassment, because according to him, it's fine.
it separately. As much as they say that I'm paranoid, I think they're really the paranoid one.
You had literal folders of tweets and comments and videos from years ago because you thought these people who didn't care about you wanted to come after you. That is a far cry from literally talking about holding a gun to somebody, not taking no, and then interacting with that group in real life. You are dumb. It's a dishonest statement and you know it. Jar, you live 3.5 hours from me. You would not have this value if I showed up at your house.
I just wanted to meet up with them at VidCon, and all of this happened. Goddamn.
You reap what you sow. You made that choice. You didn't take no for the answer the first, second, or third time. That's on you. You are not a victim.
I think this became less important as my drama started, but I might as well nip this in the butt right now. I was letting the YouTuber Jaiden, aka Misanthropony, upload videos on my channel. He left YouTube due to threatening people he doesn't like on alt accounts.
Also, since we're being sticklers, by the way, for specific terminology and phrases, technically, Misanthropony never threatened anybody. He just said that he hopes people get gunned down by the mob. Which is a very unique and very specific threat that I can't get over. It's so absurd. That's the only reason I'm laughing. I'm not laughing because it's actually funny, or certainly not because I approve, but because it's so absurd. He is so absurd in making that statement. It's amazing.
And then lying about it, and then repeating the same process a few more times. I decided to give him one more chance. His fans missed his...
I want everybody to remember, I was the person who held Zaid accountable. I'm the person that tried to keep him on a leash. I'm the person who genuinely tried to help and keep him under control, try to help him get better. And that was an active thing, by the way. It wasn't just an occasional conversation. I was in direct communication with this doofus for a long time, and he was still keeping this behavior up. Jar didn't care. How was he going to keep the guy in line and give him another chance? The truth is, Jar didn't care about another chances. Jar saw somebody who would give content to his channel for free.
This content, and I'm not gonna lie, it made me some money. Unfortunately, by doing this, it meant I had to deal with some of Zaid's haters myself, and they're, an interesting group.
Listen, well, I'm gonna make you wish that you'd stay gone. Tune on in.
As far as
You know, I'm not going to argue that a lot of Zaid's haters are literally lunatics. Actually, no, that's not right. A lunatic can't help themselves. They're creeps, freaks, and weirdos. I think... I could be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure we bullied that one specific guy. I think at one point he came into the Senate and tried to thump his chest, and it didn't go well for him. But that means nothing, because you can't control how people come at you. What you can control, though, is how you respond. And one point I am going to make when I talk to Zaid is Zaid gives himself a ton of grace because I was being stalked and harassed for years by crazy people who were mad about Star Wars takes. That's why I was irrational. Zaid, I'm in the same boat, dude. It's actually worse than that, because I also had to deal with actual child predators. That traumatic nonsense. A whole slew of other things, but you call my actions evil, but yours are excusable. You can't give yourself that level of grace and not give it to other people.
I'm aware, while Zaid was on my channel, he didn't mess up by creating alt accounts.
I promise you he did at one point. That's just who he is.
Due to the Synni drama I got myself involved in, I told him it was best if we go our separate ways so he doesn't get any more hate. He asked me to take his videos down off of my channel once my response came out, and I agreed to do that. But then he asked me to take them down even sooner, along with asking me to advertise his channel on my community tab, give it a shout out in my response video, and advertise it in my Discord. I agreed to this, so I took his videos down.
The fact that Jar has a Discord is very concerning. I wonder if anybody's going to sneak in there and export it.
Which is why suddenly a bunch of my
wink wink nudge nudge say no more, hint hint
content disappeared. I wasn't trying to hide anything, nor was I trying to say, oh look, Zaid's videos are no longer on my channel.
Nobody thought you did. They just realized that Zaid dropped you.
You guys can like me now. I literally just took them down because he asked me to. He made those videos, so I thought he had the final say on the matter. And I was...
Yes, Fractured, that would be nice.
...gonna boost his new channel, but I decided not to because he was calling me a pedo apologist on his new channel.
That is fair. I was wrong. I'll give Jar 2 points. It is fair that he didn't want to shout out somebody who was calling him a pedo apologist, which again, amazing that was his take after Jar got hate, not when he watched Jar's response or Jar's video on the situation. Fascinating behavior.
Yeah, he wanted me to send my fans to his new channel so he could bash me. In my humble opinion, that's a pretty scummy thing to do.
Jar, you backstab people regularly. You are everything you hate about the ACC.
I don't think he knows what that word means, because the main reason why I defended Synni was because I thought she wasn't a pedo.
Because you're dumb and you don't know how to read.
If she was a pedo and trying to...
And I'm not saying you don't know how to read and you're illiterate because of a disability, I'm just saying you're lazy.
...get with a minor, I wouldn't have even entertained the idea of defending her. I really should have heeded the warnings of people who told me not to work with the guy.
I told you so, stupid.
Zaid, if you're watching this, you are a talented guy, you make great videos.
He does?
Forget about your haters, you're always going to have haters. Just upload your great, amazing content.
Yes, I should do this myself, to be honest. This content's not amazing and neither is Jar's. Like, what is this backpack?
And let them cope and see that you're a success.
Cope and see the reference! The shout-out has been made! The sacrifice is done!
I have this issue where I see someone that everybody else hates, and I just want to help them out. It's a pattern of behavior that has bitten me in the ass.
You help out people you think you can gain something from. You do it only for those people. Say what you will about the nonsense I've done, and some of the actual wrongs I've done. I've tried to help people regardless of who they are, regardless of their size or whatever, because I felt it was the right thing to do. You only did it when you thought you'd get something from it.
Over and over and over again. I just see someone that no one likes, and I think if they just had one person defend them, maybe they can turn everything around.
You do it with the worst of people. If Hitler was a YouTuber, you would have defended him. And that's not me calling you racist, that's me calling you dumb. Not that racists aren't dumb, but you know what I mean. I love the Naruto font.
At first, people said it was not only okay, but a good thing that Kumo leaked an early draft of my video before it was ready. They claimed he only did it to keep me from uploading my video, which isn't the best strategy in my opinion.
I mean, it worked. Worked on you. Made you an absolute fool, didn't it?
It's kind of like stopping your friend from shooting a guy in the face by taking the gun and shooting the guy in the face yourself.
That's a good friend right there, taking all the blame.
And also, I don't think what Kumo did has ever worked, like, ever.
Yeah, I'll say this, and like I've been in conversation with him before, the video he did on me is like absolute garbage, and I can't believe anybody took it seriously.
But people seem to start walking back on this claim.
Now, in fairness, I've wronged Kumo, and I'm still going to make right on that. Not at the moment, simply because of everything going on, but there are things I got wrong that I need to correct, factually.
Once they realized that Kumo wasn't all there.
None of you know what the fuck you're even talking about! You keep twisting the context! And people wonder why I get upset. People wonder why I get loud. People wonder why I fucking scream. I'm gonna start flashing.
Kumo was...
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Jar knew that Kumo had issues. He knows because he brings it up later on that Kumo was obsessing over something he shouldn't have been, coming to the wrong takes about something, but he is dishonestly using this clip, and I'm going to tell you why. Because what Kumo went through with the whole cutting thing, there's more to it. There genuinely is. Am I saying that Kumo was right in doing so? Absolutely not. Still the wrong thing to do. However, what we are witnessing in that clip is Kumo having an actual meltdown. An actual bout of mental instability born of his own disability because he has admitted in that very video he has schizophrenia. And Jar is dishonestly framing it to try to point out, well, Kumo's crazy and I'm not. Jar, you are an absolute scumbag. And here's what I'm going to say. This is Inla behavior. Why am I calling it Inla behavior? Because Inla and Kumo are thick as thieves until they had one too many arguments over probably Pokemon or whatever. And then Inla's found in other people's chats making fun of Kumo's schizophrenia. Ableism's bad to Inla until it's against somebody she doesn't like. This is piss poor behavior. This is not going to win you anything. You are not a victim.
Was trying to sabotage me because he doesn't like me.
But the parts that were problematic were specifically things that I would care about, and I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that because I was so focused on the guy I already didn't like, and the guy that I was already concerned was going to like try and use, like do shit to you. Do you understand, Synni, that you are in like the perfect position for him to take advantage of you?
It all started when I had to deal with the very poorly photoshopped allegations of grooming a 13.
You had to deal with it? I dealt with it! Ponder and I are the person who dragged that person, not you. I'm the one who looked into it. I'm the one that got them dumb enough to click on a Grabify link that showed me exactly where they were. Portland, Oregon, the same place Chaos and their roommate is. I'm the person who wound up looking over that and pointing out how absolutely foolish the attempt is at trying to lie about you. You did dick! Continuing.
13-year-old girl. He seemed to believe they were real more than anyone else I talked to about them, and it took me a few minutes to convince him that they were clearly poorly photoshopped. You see, once Kumo is a little suspicious that you might be a pedo or a groomer, he's going to hold on to that opinion forever.
Yeah, just like you'll hold on to the opinion of other people being bad forever. I got water. I'm good.
By the way, a lot of people have been commenting underneath my grooming a 13-year-old allegations video that it aged poorly or that Chaos55T was in the right.
That is incorrect. However, what was really funny is watching the thumbnail of that video and the title intersect between commentary and the Transformer fandom and watching all the confusion of them trying to figure out why a Beast Wars the second character is helping Jar out. That was some funny stuff.
I just gotta say, that's absolutely disgusting. This is stupidly one of the main reasons as to why I thought he was onto something when it came to the Synni Barrow 3 drama. I thought to myself, if this guy has such a low bar to call someone a pedo or a groomer, but he doesn't think this person's a groomer, then he's probably right.
You know, there's an episode of, I think it was Family Matters, where the son of the family gambled away money that he didn't truly own. I could be misremembering this. It's been decades since I've seen it. And his logic when placing the bets, because it was a football game he was betting on, was I'm going to bet on the city that has the ugliest women because clearly the men there will be more aggressive. That's the type of logic that Jar uses.
Basically, I thought maybe I should listen to the least charitable guy being charitable for once. I thought people just weren't listening to him because, well, pretty much everybody hated him. Unfortunately, I forgot who I was getting myself involved with.
Oh, you're not a victim. You made that choice. You knew what you were getting into. You just didn't want to do the work yourself, so you plagiarized.
Kumo, unprompted mind you, leaked his own DMs with Synni, and they looked even...
Well, I mean, it wasn't unprompted. He was asked to.
...worse than mine. I don't know what he was thinking. He kind of just nuked us both. Then people found out more...
I mean, mutually assured destruction is still destruction.
...stuff about Kumo, such as the leg-cutting incident.
Which Jar knew about, by the way. Jar knew about the leg cutting incident because Jar was in my circles when it went out. We talked about it multiple times. He knew exactly what he was doing. Exactly.
Then he tried to accuse me of trying to meet up with Synni and rape her.
Yeah, that was insane. That's not good.
No, he had no...
I apologize. I'm trying to get away from using the word insane. That is unhinged.
Evidence for this. He said something to Synni to convince her that I was a rapist, but it's bleeped out. Apparently, he has evidence that I'm a rapist, but he's not releasing it to the public for whatever reason. I can't fully blame him for doing this. I mean, he convinced people that leaking out my video was a good thing, and he convinced people that I was hitting on Synni. The thing is, though, people would believe those things at face value because they're funny, but rape allegations are very serious, so people were a lot more skeptical. He was bashed for this, and then I think he tried to copyright claim someone's video for using his traced art in their thumbnail, apparently uploading my entire video.
Yeah, and that was hypocritical of him. And then he got mad that people weren't going to bat for him because he thought the people who were dunking on him were the same people, whatever.
Before it's fully ready is A-okay, but don't you dare put Kumo's traced art in your thumbnail, because that's a step too far.
Again, it wasn't technically it's Kumo's fault in the sense that he said it to begin with. But, hold on. It's Kumo's fault for saying it to begin with, but it's also Goblin's fault for not editing that out, because Goblin's a moron.
After that, he couldn't handle the backlash and left the internet. Goblin Girl was all alone, and eventually she gave up too. By the way, it took...
That was hilarious, man. She got bullied into quitting. Because she was just absolutely a moron. Nobody liked her by the end of it because she made the dumbest of decisions. Decisions that, if they had been followed through with, may have landed people in jail.
Kumo less than 2 weeks after my drama began to give up. Yes, him and Goblin Girl didn't even gain anything from sabotaging me. Goddamn. Kumo's a very young adult and he's clear...
I mean, they gained you absolutely crashing out. So, you know.
...dealing with a lot of demons. I hope he gets the help he needs.
You cannot, don't you dare, sit here and talk like you're the good guy, that you hope he's gonna get help, when you just made an entire mule of yourself putting on display the worst of his behavior to try to get a one-up on him. Don't you dare. You don't care about people getting better. You care about whether or not you have the high ground on them. Don't you ever do this crap around me. You know better. Lying piece of garbage.
Dude's younger than Synni. He has his whole life ahead of him. I think he still has the potential to change. There are some smaller allegations against me, like how my roommate isn't actually black, or that me and my roommate jack each other off, or that I make videos on a combination of coke.
Those sound like jokes, my dude. Because who cares? Well, let's assume both those things are true, alright? Let's assume your roommate isn't black. No one cares. Let's assume you guys touch tips. No one cares.
Cocaine, Adderall, and magic mushrooms. Every other allegation I've heard against me doesn't really have any proof backing it up, or the proof contradicts it. Like,
I'd love to know where the receipts are that were promised in this video, by the way, because I sure aren't seeing them.
To claim that I got a rape fetish from watching anime, even though I literally said the opposite.
I'd like to have a rape fetish at 11.
You can tell by the context by what I'm saying that I don't think it's common to develop a rape fetish at such an early age, so why would I say it's not common for an 11-year-old to develop a rape fetish, but it is common for a 14-year-old to develop it? That doesn't make sense. Nothing you say makes sense.
I mean, I think it's common to have a rape fetish, but not at 11. Like, don't get me wrong, I developed a gender bend fetish at, like, 7 or 8, but that's because I watched Ranma 1/2.
Which you shouldn't have been at that age. I'm gonna say that now. As far as it being common in general, I don't think that's true. Why can't everybody just be into thick goth girls?
And it developed early on, but, like, I didn't develop a rape fetish from watching Berserk.
You said did. You can say all day long you meant didn't, but that wouldn't make any sense. I hate it here.
I won't lie, this whole drama has not been fun for me to go through. I joined the losing side in a big drama, and the people I joined tried to...
Joined, you were the losing side.
Sabotage me and destroy me. If it wasn't for...
Not try. No. We use words accurately here. Succeeded in sabotaging and destroying you.
For my girlfriend's support, I don't think I would have been able to come back as soon as I did.
If your video was just you apologizing and moving on, maybe. But, this ain't it, Chief.
I was thinking about giving up, but then she told me that plenty of other YouTubers have gotten way more backlash than me, and they haven't given up. Turkey Tom, The Quartering, Blair White, Seth the Programmer, Illuminations, Tipster, Nostalgia Critic, Killer Keemstar, Vaught.
Okay, how many of these people defended a predator? The Turkey Tom? No, he got quote-unquote canceled for making a predator accusation with no evidence. Quartering, did he get canceled? I think he's just bullied all the time. Blair White, pass. Keemstar, yeah. People tried to cancel him. He's still around. Seth Programmer, no thank you. Illumination, she didn't really get canceled. People just freaked out. Doug Walker, deserved it. Tipster, I don't even know what to say, man. That's Chris's neck of the woods. I ain't touching that. Vosh should have stayed, quote unquote, canceled. That dude has folders of like drawn children and horses. That is pedo zoo behavior. That guy needs to stay gone.
Out and even more.
Kraut? Who cares about Kraut?
I've seen multiple YouTubers get less backlash than me and give up, but I think I'm going to stay. However,
this is the man who unironically compared a YouTube career to the Garden of Eden, so I'm not surprised.
I'm going to take a long hiatus.
The last 3 months wasn't long enough?
I'm only taking a hiatus from uploading videos, but I'm going to keep on working on videos just as much as I always have. So once I come back in August, I'll have plenty of videos to upload.
Huh. That sounds familiar. Isn't that what you told me to do? Which, by the way, I didn't do. I'm not taking advice from this dork.
My channel hasn't been doing so hot all of 2024, so I think it's time I take a step back and re-examine everything.
Oh, but Jar was doing just fine at the beginning. You were trying to ride Kumo's coattails. You were doing video after video about the RCC. Come on, man. Surely you can just come back to that.
I want my content to be more consistent across all of my channels. I also think taking a break from YouTube would not only be a good thing for my mental health, but also because it has changed so much. It's not YouTube anymore. It's the gay love child of TikTok and Twitch.
Oh, shut up! Look, man, I'm the boomer in the room, but get with the times. Cry more! Plenty of people love long-form content, they just don't like yours! Because you're boring! And your argumentation sucks!
I've seen so many YouTubers say they're going to take a break, only to not do so, and then they mess up a lot.
Whereas you mess up without taking breaks. Congratulations, you're the better man.
So I'm going to try to avoid making the same mistakes as them. Trust me, I wanted to make this video longer. I wanted to debunk more allegations against me.
That nobody actually cared about, that weren't the major thing, which you didn't focus on the most of this video. You focused on things that nobody cared about. Literally, nobody actually cared if you actually had a fart fetish. They just made fun of you for it.
Yeah, but if I make this video too long, well, people aren't going to check it out. The bigger I get on YouTube, the more haters I'm going to get. So
I can promise you I have more haters than you, Jar. And I'm nowhere near your size. Sometimes you can tell a man by the type of enemies he makes. And most of mine are screaming nitwits. And I'm not talking about the people who gave me legitimate criticism. Like Beckett or Chris or whatever. I'm talking about the actual lunatics that people will continue to see on this channel because just picking on them is fun.
So I'm just going to have to deal with the fact that people...
Shout out to Timmy Dog, by the way. I know he's coping and malding over those shorts.
People are going to believe things about me that are untrue, just like a lot of...
My drama is what Dream has to deal with every day of his life. Oh, cry me a river!
Big YouTubers have to deal with. Throughout my time on YouTube, I've dealt with false murder allegations that a lot of people believed. Poorly photoshopped grooming allegations.
You weren't accused of murder. You were accused of pushing somebody to suicide. I'm sorry, I didn't say unending or sewer slide. That's not the same as murder. Murder!
Rape allegations. Grooming the groomer allegations.
That weren't an allegation, they were making fun of you. A joke is not the same as an allegation.
Being backstabbed by people I was trying to help.
Oh my god! Like who? Who backstabbed you? I mean actually backstabbed you. Because there's only one person I can think of, and that's Peaches. And she at least had the quote-unquote decency to just do it in private. The people who you say backstabbed you eventually just realized they didn't want to agree with some of the nonsense you were saying. And if they make a bad video, disagree with your takes, who cares? Why do you care? Why? Why do you care? You're not a victim. You're not some poor little dude who's just gotten backstabbed so many times because I was just trying to help people. You are a dishonest, clout-chasing little weirdo that has made women uncomfortable, that has been deceitful, who has plotted against people he cares about, lied to other people, and refuses to take accountability for literally anything. You want to keep making YouTube videos? Fine. I've gotten to the point in life that very rarely at this point do I think people should be removed from online. Simply from one fact. If they run away, you can't hammer them more anymore. I still think Predators need to go. That's my line. But Jar should stay. Simply so people can dog on him more. Also, watch my toy reviews.
And so much more. I just need to take a step back and take a break for a little bit. I hate that people can literally say anything about me and it's treated as fact, even if they...
He says while he has attacked people who left their platform out of choice or people who nuked it. Attacking Kumo at this point is one of the slimiest things you can do because he has no way to respond.
have no evidence for their claim. I debunked our gentleman's video on me, he took it down, quit YouTube for several months, and once this drama around me happened, he re-uploaded it.
That's also a lie. Dire Gentleman never quit YouTube. He rebranded the name of his channel. That's why you didn't see it, stupid. And yeah, let him re-upload the video. Who cares? I don't care if you people disagree over takes on media. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care! I don't care!
And it got over 200,000 views. Come on, that's a bitch move. Know what else is a bitch move? People coming out with allegations against me that if they released at any other time wouldn't have been taken seriously at all.
Because you're a vindictive little weirdo who would have targeted them. They were scared of you, Jar. And I've told you that in the call. You do this to smaller content creators all the time. Good Lord above, he's the only one who's going to give you any mercy.
If you think these allegations are half as damning as you painted them out to be, then you should have released them way sooner. But
that is not how reality works. If you thought the accusations of people, or the things you had to say about people in the DeviantArt group were half as damning as you thought they were, why didn't you release them 2 years after it happened, or a month, or a day after it happened? Why'd you wait a decade? When the people you were attacking didn't have the platforms to truly respond to you other than Chaos5IT. I can throw that right back at you, Jar. You never think.
But I guess you got a lot of views and
The truth is, they didn't for the same reason you didn't. They're scared.
attention, so I suppose it was worth it. Someone told me...
I hope more people come out, Jar. And I hope they come out with more credible things. I hope if you've done wrong, truly, if you have done wrong, you're buried with it.
that more videos have been made on me than Synni. I don't know if that's...
And you know what? I'm gonna be the guy. There's one person in the ArtCC who has regularly tried to help you. And that was Ponder. Ponder would pass me advice to give you during some of this. Ponder would do other things in the background to try to get you help. There was one person, in fact, who found an account that leaked your real legal name and tried their best to report it to get it taken down. Didn't work, but they tried. You wouldn't have done that for anybody. You think everybody who criticizes you or has a negative opinion about your takes is an enemy. You are delusional. You promised you would get help. I've not seen that mentioned once in this video. You promised your behavior would change. You have done exactly what I expected. Not as bad as I expected. I expected more vitriol. I expected more of you chucking others under the bus to excuse your vile actions. No, you just did a little bit. That's not changed, Jar. That's you doing the exact same thing you have always done during all of this. I'm not gonna say whether or not people should give you a pass. That's up to them. The people you have wronged are the ones who have the right to give you forgiveness or not. But I think everybody who watches you needs to keep a sharp eye on what you actually do, because what you actually do is a lot different than what you talk about doing. You want to stay out of drama? We'll see. I give it less than a year before you come right back to it. The views on the media stuff's going to dry up because nobody wants to listen to you. And it's not because you played patty cake with a predator. It's because your takes are awful, garbage, conspiracy theory trash. And there's already a guy, I can't remember his name for the life of me, I am so sorry, who has been dogging on your media takes and beating the stuffing out of you on them. So, you know, whatever. Cope, Steve, Mauled, I'm tired. And I'm tired of you.
It's true or not, but it feels true. I know there are people who haven't made a video on Synni, but did make a video on me. Being more hated than a groomer is not a good feeling.
Anthony Gramulia. I butchered that name, I'm sure. Yeah. I know, Jar. I know how that feels. Welcome to my world. Learn from it.
A lot of YouTubers I'm subscribed to made videos on me. Not only did they make videos on me, but those videos did really well for their channels.
Cope.
It felt like even the algorithm was against me.
Cope.
That's why this response took so long. I had to gather so many receipts to prove my innocence.
But you didn't gather any receipts. You just cried the entire time. Poor Jar, the poor little victim. Everybody, let's hold his hand and sing Kumbaya. Going to lose my mind. I'm about to lose my mind. Up in here. Up in here. About to act a fool. Up in here. Up in here.
I don't think people were going to let me ignore this. When you take every single mistake anyone has ever made and line them up in a row, we all look like monsters. This drama has shown...
No! You did not. He did not put his grooming allegations in the He did not do that as the... No! No, Jar! No! No! Ah! 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 He's got to be the perfect little victim. Also, I just passed something. I need to look something up real quick. Deviant art. Not Divinant art. Come on, Thomas. You're not Jar. Just a robot. User profile. Gallery. Let's not go with feature. Let's go with all, even though they're all the same. Whatever. Oh, you worthless, scummy piece of gutter trash. So you know how Jar was talking about how the maid dress was totally sexual, wasn't sexualized, but it's improper, and it wasn't okay? This is Jar's deviant art. This is where it is. He says this is not okay by Pondersprocket. He uploaded the thing onto his own deviant art. What does he say anything about it? This was made for me by Pondersprocket. You dishonest freak! You're trying to use this as a counterpoint when you asked for it! I hate this man! Die! Die! Alright. So, here's what I am going to do. I am going to take a very short break, wherein my views will drastically drop to like 20 people. Oh, he didn't ask for it, but rest assured that was Joe Fanner. Yes, thank you. Thank you for clearing that up. I'm going to take like a quick break, and then I'm going to cover another awful video that is not about Jar, so I expect 20 of you to still be here. So, I hope I didn't crash out too hard. We'll see. We'll see. BRB.
Stay with us. Thundercats will be back after this.
Alright, so that was a very short break. Just had to get some things sorted. So, I'm going to go ahead and read out the super chats I've gotten so far before we move on to the next topic, which won't be jar related, sorry. But I got $2 from Asylum, thank you. The slurs, and more slurs from Vlad. Muffin says for $2, just a skin fluke, comeback, terrible comeback is crazy. Yes, Colonel Gas Mask for $5 said Jar didn't just shoot himself in the foot, he straight up removed his kneecaps. Yes! Yes, he did. Angie for $2 says grab your popcorn, this is a ride. More like ibuprofen. Hidden Heroine says for $2, be gay, do crime, buy Transformers. I will, don't worry. Long Fork for $2 says people like Jar are just morons. Well, the problem is that he's also malicious. A literal galaxy. Man, really? $2. A girl just gave me the hands of my enemy's help. Or, a girl just gave me the heads of my enemy's help. I don't know what that means, but alright, I'm glad for you. Toontastic for $2. Do you think Jar should go offline? Yes. The one and only Phineas. I heard that guy's a monster. For $2, when a Thundercat says he's in touch with reality, watch yourself. The Linden Hour for $2. For your sanity, Lio. That left a long time ago. Mahi for $2. Lio going through the 5 stages of grief in one vid. No, just rage. The Wandering Hero for $2. Please play with Gidget after this. You need this. Maybe. Fellfire Links for $2. He really needs to touch grass. He needs to live in it. Pudgy the Bimbo. These names! For $5. Imagine talking about your internet drama to your neighbors like Jar. I couldn't. Algamon T1 for $5. As a man with both dyslexia and autism, if Jar uses any of that as a form of shield, I'm going to be so mad. You must be real mad then. Philaine Amistro, Devil's Advocate, for $5. What will Jar do once his roommate wants to move out? Don't know. Don't care. Not my problem. Angie again for $2. My autism made me set off nuclear bomb. True. Same. Starbird for $10. Does he not see the optics of asking an alleged child groomer for ASMR? Or the abuse of power since he is the one defending her? Also, does it feel weird to ask other women... Also, it does feel weird to ask other women to put you to sleep. Yes, all these things are true. Water Droplet TM for $5. Bro says he was literally public enemy number 1 when in reality he was just Cliff Notes for the weekend. Yeah, pretty much. Echo DK for $5. Lio screeches in rage, but it is lost in the empty dark void of Charcopium. Alright then. Lynn now for another $2. Do you think he mains Wario and Smash Brothers? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. Isaac Smith for $10. Hey Lio, sorry, just want to put this out there real quick. Zayd said he owes it to the people he betrayed, but his Oak Tree Lover account is still... What's it? I don't know what that is. I am sorry. Milk Uwu, $2. Lio's my favorite YouTuber. I hate it here. Hidden Heroine for another $5. Lio needs you to show me the Megatron you picked up that I'm still waiting on. You will have to continue waiting. He's in a box. Hive Cat for $5. Jar's exhausting. I'm sorry you had to put up with it, my dude. It's not me that you need to feel sorry for. It's all the other people you creeped on. That's awful. Still feel bad about that. Okay, so what am I going to look at next that's going to cause people to immediately leave this chat? So in Vlad's server, there's an individual that I've crossed paths with by the name of RifleManJay. Now, my introduction to RifleManJay was him losing his mind in call with me because he got picked on in a different server by a different person for his little video game thingamahoosit. I'm not going to let you in because I'm not in call hidden. It kept kicking me out and bringing me back in. I can't even do that right now. And that first call ended with him threatening to drive by my house and shoot it up. So that's the type of person we're dealing with. Well, he decided to have the brilliant take in Vlad's server that people should forgive pedophiles. And in and of itself, you could dunk on him for that, but as a whole, depending on the context of it. But he tried to use Bible to argue it. And it wound up with him in a call with Vlad, me, and several other people where they were just making fun of him for the dumb take. I actually took Bible to him. And it made him so mad that he did a response video that's 30 minutes long we're going to take a look at. Hivecat P Shooter Boy Pete. True. He's called something different in Vlad's server. I don't approve, but it's Vlad's business. But we're going to go ahead and watch his response. And I'm going to put it at 2x speed because this boy is slow. Hey guys, this video is an attempt to heal, strengthen, give hope to everyone on the internet if you ever feel afraid of cancel culture. If you are afraid of your skeletons coming out of your closet, watch this video. Mine were always public, but Still got Gundams in mind. If you are afraid of permanent cancellation or losing everything, watch this video. This dude lives with his parents. And I'm not saying that to demean him for living with his parents, but more so to point out that, like, I don't know why he's talking about how to help people who've lost everything. He has nothing to gain. Wait, Kumu's in the chat? You need to go watching John's video. It's an absolute mess. Starbird for $5. Just starting Vlad server. Oh, you know it's going to be good. Zach Nakal. Jaro, Lyle, you were so Julia when you bumped that so hard that Jarga. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you, Zach. This is what happens when I let twinks near me. If you feel scared of being an influencer or have fear of... Get back there. Or have fear of cancellation on your video, watch this video. If you want to feel happy on the internet and stay positive, watch this video. This will solve all of our problems. If you find yourself that people are making videos on you, watch this, blah, blah, blah. Do not be afraid.
Hello, I'm RifleManJay, founder and CEO of Rifleman Studios.
I am Lyle Convoy, founder and owner of Your Mom Gay.
So today I am going to be doing an attempt to heal everyone on the internet because I feel like commentary channels and almost everyone who calls people out ends up being very judgmental about their problems and saying what is and isn't forgivable, and it's honestly just weird. I'll be dividing this video into several chapters so you can get the gist of it, and I want to make this very crystal clear.
I wonder if he recognizes that saying that alone is a judgment.
Not in any way, shape, or form trying to morally grandstand anyone, or be this moral figure putting napalm on everyone, or even defending behaviors that fall in the category of sin.
But you did.
Because this video also applies to myself as well. That's also why I'm in the thumbnail. But firstly, I want to say, because there are people asking me how my relationship with Christ is going, I feel much closer to him than I was before. I used to feel lust, I used to feel hate, I used to have a vengeance addiction, anger, Twitter trolling, and all kinds of sinful stuff. I personally don't feel this type of wants anymore, or even that type of way.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, he still gets mad about things that he caused to happen.
Looking back at it is just weird now, especially vengeance, since it's like some kind of like pity to, like, you know, make yourself feel better about something.
That's not what vengeance is.
And I think that this world needs him again because life is falling apart at this point.
What do you mean needs him again? He's always been here.
YouTubers or influencers are getting canceled left and right. I used to think that it was funny at first and satisfying, but I've changed my mind on it because at the same time they have a lot of talent and positivity in them that I just completely ignored once they do a single wrong thing, and that is also why I'm making this video. And it's honestly just sad now, especially since it's happening so quickly. But this video is to hopefully heal the internet, and everyone in it, especially if they are afraid of getting in the hot seat. And I will be talking about predatory behavior a lot, but it's not the entirety of sin that I mean, because
I want to die.
I do mean literally, like literally any sin of what other people would find big or small, and especially because YouTubers are getting exposed as predators left and right nowadays, especially in 2024. So let's begin.
This man's actually just gonna crash out by defending predators.
So I'm going to say first is that the internet can be extremely judgmental about anything or just any wrongdoings in general.
That's what you're doing right here, by the way, just so you're aware.
Things like predatory behavior, doxing, lying, hypocrisy, flirting with predators, abuse, hard R's, bad music.
Well, yeah, probably because there's a reason why people are judgmental over those things. I wonder why.
Stalking, harassing, doxing, scamming, etc. I first want to say, and I highly feel like I am going to get a ton of backlash for, I don't know why, but I personally think that all sin is sin. It's like a poisonous berry judging another, forgetting they both come from the same tree. Because we are all human beings, and we are all going to be doing very different types of mistakes.
Except for the fact that, biblically, it's also not all the same. Again, God calls some things abominations. Some things are a sin against flesh, some things are a sin against God. They're not all equal.
In our lives, and there's definitely going to be moral grandstanding, like, you can't come back from this, it's unforgivable, it's not a mistake, it's permanent damage, put the fries in the bag, little bro, in hopes to shut you down to make themselves look better in the public. I mean, it's literally why diss tracks, cancel culture, and hate mobs all exist, and I honestly disagree with it because in reality, it doesn't really solve anything, and I can tell you why. I think it's really a feeling of getting a kill in Fortnite, like how you do all this build fighting and you 200 pump.
The reason people tell them not to come back is because they have a position of authority and power that they will likely abuse again.
In the head to cancel someone, but I don't think it solves anything, and it's really an attempt to isolate someone from everyone, even though at the end of the day, they are still going to be around people regardless.
No, it's an attempt to not want people who are predatory in their spaces.
It doesn't really make a change or save from danger card depending on what they did. I really feel like people should focus on solving the problem rather than just doing all this moral grandstanding and complaining.
Yes, and Jay's going to tell us how to solve the problem by morally grandstanding, even though he's saying he's not.
About it on the internet. It's like saying you should see the amount of damage you take in a game rather than just focus on winning the match, or slapping kills, or drinking minis to patch yourself up. Now, let me be clear again for this because I don't want people to think I'm defending people's actions, which I'm really not. I'm just saying that
you are by nature of equating everything that people do wrong to the same thing.
But people just need to fix the issue rather than complain about it, and making them leave the internet or making all these videos about them and monetizing it as drama communities are supposed to be normal. Like, let's say you are a sex pest or a scammer or a liar. Find ways to quit porn, make money, sell some stuff.
Not every sex pest looks at porn. What does a scammer have to do with porn?
Don't do stuff to intimidate or take advantage of a victim or an opponent. And also, just tell the truth. It isn't worth fighting back if you're literally in the wrong for doing something, especially hypocrisy. People can get judgmental and morally grandstand someone for doing something only for them to do it later, and their own standards will start knocking at their door. And I can give some examples, and a sample one before we get into this next chapter. This video, just a robot made, which is basically a weapon shard of which Sin will do whatever damage and
yeah, wonder how that worked out for him.
Determine what you can come back from and what you can't. A few examples, not all of it being hypocrisy, I will say firstly are Moist Critical, Hopeless Peaches, Creepshow Art, who have all called out people who enabled or has predated on a child.
Some of that's hypocrisy, some of that is changing values. There is a difference between the two. Like, if somebody smoked for most of their life and then they stopped and start telling you how you shouldn't smoke, that's not hypocrisy. That's changing position.
Alleged abuse, stalking, guilt by association, only to have done the exact same thing themselves time later, and once their standards applied to them, well, specifically Peaches and Creepshow Art are gone, they would rather just dip and jeopardize all of their work than to take accountability. Because standards are like they're like a karmic boomerang.
Creepshow Art had CSCM and nobody talks about that. Creepshow Art should absolutely stay gone. So should Peaches, because she's a manipulator.
It's gonna come back to you. It's kind of like an entire community would rather play double-edged sword to the maximum damage, forgetting that you also receive the same.
Tell us about who watches porn, Lio Goonboy. I can't. I don't often talk to those people.
Damage that you deal. That's what happens when you apply high
Also, I'm not a goon. I don't even have a boss like that. I'm not in the mob.
Standards to those for an attempt to look better, but when you end up doing the same thing, that boomerang comes right at you at the same speed you threw it. I'm not saying criticism should not be on the internet. In fact, I think criticism is more than welcome to be on the internet because it's extremely important to call out those who do awful things, but the rubber boots that ruin the stew...
Wait, hold on. So, it's okay to call it out, but what's the problem then? Because you're crying about them calling it out.
...is judgmentality. I want to say this, but...
Yeah, here's the thing. You can't live without judgment. You have to make judgments literally every single day. And the Bible doesn't actually tell people not to judge things. If you finish the doggone verse, it says, "Judge not, lest ye be judged, because you will be compared by whatever means you judge by."
But all sin is sin.
You know, Cliff Notes version, not direct quote.
People would rather just compare sin and say what you can and can't come back from. And it really...
There's a difference between talking about sin, which is a theological statement, and talking about, like, specific wrongdoings in the mortal realm, and the context they're in about interaction.
It feels more like a battle royale rather than a break you down and build you back up again. Now, people will be asking, what if they don't take accountability and leave? That I will be getting into in the next chapter, and please remember that because it is going to be important. There are people that would rather just exit the door than take accountability and end up dealing with the wrongs they did, and possibly for the rest of their life, if they let it, which time being will come back all in the form of rage. You know, kind of like Peter Griffin reference.
No? Some of them just don't do anything.
I think people need to take accountability if they are ever in the wrong, and if they fight back and end up still being wrong, take accountability. I think it's sickening and it infuriates me a lot. Like, I have taken many L's on the internet and I'm still here and still going. And when you
takes L's in Vlad server all the time, they constantly give him grief.
Leave and delete your socials, you are letting them stop you by stopping yourself.
John 15:8, if the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. Okay, talking about people dogging on you for your bad takes is not the same as following Christ and the world showing you derision because you follow Christ. Not a single person that you've dealt with rides you and derides you because of your theology. They take shots at you because of the bad decisions you make.
So, and it's honest.
So that's a absolutely doofus take. Taking scripture out of context is awful.
It's just saddening and angering because at the end of the day, you learn or finally learn to not do those actions again, and boom, problem solved. And yes, I will be talking...
Some people don't. Some people go to the grave repeating the same bad behavior.
...about if you are a victim of someone's sin later in this video.
Hold on, let me take a look here. Who is tagging me? Who dares? Oh, God. And I do mean that. Okay, what is it you guys want me to show? The screenshot? Oh, the manifesto. Oh, I am not reading that. I'm sorry, I'm not reading RifleManJay's manifesto. That's going to hurt my eyes. No, thank you.
But if you are a YouTuber watching this video, and your skeletons come out, and all of it's true, and you're actually in the wrong, take accountability and responsibility. And I also want to...
That's a judgment, by the way.
...say something of this that reminds me of Streamline's video of why apologies on YouTube are so terrible. Well, they aren't just terrible...
Yes, use Streamline's video while you excuse pedophilia as just another sin. I'm sure that person will not at all be angry at you.
...because they're stressed. They are terrible because they would rather save their own ass depending on what they did, and either if it's a, you can't come back for this, or a sub-count threat, or what others would find them to be something to unsubscribe from them. And then it's just telling them that taking accountability is
All right, Muffin. Once I'm done going over this, we'll go over his manifesto.
literally just suicide because most people wouldn't forgive them. So they would just try and save themselves by lying, kind of like running from fake Peppino and Pizza Tower, just like how those in the FCK lied, because they knew that covering up a minor getting groomed is what most people would say permanently cancel.
But Jay, that's a judgment.
I feel like it should be ways for people to actually grow and learn rather than just try and chase them offline because, as I said before, it really doesn't even solve anything.
I mean, it does. It gets them out of positions of authority they can continually abuse. That's why they're chased offline.
Because you're still going to be around people regardless. Because
Yes, but you won't have the same power you did. Do you think for a second somebody like Peaches has the same influence in reality that she did on her YouTube channel? The answer is no.
that's literally just how humanity and society functions. We are around humans from our day-to-day lives. If you are afraid of criticizing someone, even if you did the same thing and have taken account for it, don't. Kind of like the Pumpkin the Gentleman situation.
You can find his tweets. I'm using EDP as an example instead of calling out this Tyson for supporting explicit material of children. EDP trying to keep the kids for himself. Not as a case of Predator versus Predator. I don't know what he's referring to here.
People on the internet will be like, bro thinks he's on the team, or sit this one out, lil bro. And as I said,
Hold on, let me backtrack that.
Day-to-day lives. If you are afraid of criticizing someone, even if you did the same thing and have taken account for it, don't. Kind of like the Pumpkin the Gentleman situation. People on the internet will be like, bro thinks...
I'm not 100% sure if EDP took into account for the exact text example that I'm sure you gave. It didn't.
Thinks he's on the team, or sit this one out, lil bro. And as I said again,
Basically, just because you have done something in the past and taken account for it doesn't mean everything you say is automatically untrustable and validated, regardless of which sin you acted. Again, while the inherent statement is not incorrect, brother, you have got to learn how to talk about sin, because this ain't it.
And like Pumpkin the Gentleman, who has done questionable things around children and has...
Jesus said, let any one of you who is without sin be the first to stone at her. John 8:7, that is in reference to people who had religious fervor to try to kill a prostitute. That's not anywhere near the same as telling somebody to leave the internet. I feel like if this was 2024, she would have been most likely stoned to death because it is justified. Brother, are you dumb? It was far more likely for somebody to stone someone to death back then than now. Jesus had the authority to say that because he didn't have any sin and he wasn't condemning her. And again, with the normal people tactic, it's just prisons, sinners rejecting other sinners. But again, sin is sin. It feels more like a game of domination or making yourself feel better and such. Oh my goodness, you're stupid.
Taken accountability for it, from what I can remember. Just because you take into account of what you've done and call someone out for the same thing, that doesn't mean you're being a hypocrite. That's like saying if I touch a hot stove and it burns my hand.
Okay, from a biblical standpoint, some forms of accountability are different than others, right? So here's what I'm going to say. Let's see here. Sorry, I have massages. Okay, so let me pull this up. Let's see here. I know, dead air. Come on, don't freeze up on me. Okay, so sometimes just saying my bad isn't enough. So in Matthew 3:8, it talks about producing fruit in keeping with repentance, meaning that you have to live what you talk about. Further on says, and do not think you can say to yourselves, we have Abraham as our father. I tell you that out of these stones, God can raise up children for Abraham. It's just telling people not to get caught up in themselves. And it's sometimes just saying, I'm sorry isn't enough. You have to show that you are changed. This is goofy.
And I see my friend about to touch a hot stove. Then I can't tell him no, because by the internet's logic...
You let him do it and he'll learn.
I think I'm on the same team.
That's how I learned. When I was a little kid, I'm looking at the stove, I try to touch it, my old man's like, don't touch the stove, it's hot. I'm like, what's hot? You know what? Touch the stove. Guess what I didn't do going forward?
And that is also a reason why I say the internet feels more like a battle royale of shutting YouTubers down rather than actual criticism to help the person not do those mistakes again. Just because you...
Nobody's your therapist. Nobody's here to hold your hand and walk you through not being a doofus.
I've also done it and taken accountability for it. Doesn't mean you can't tell someone else they can't do it either. And I don't mean predatory behavior, just that. Again.
I will also say, too, that during my freshman year of high school, I dated a 19-year-old who asked to have sex with, and I politely declined and later broke up. I don't understand to this day how I am traumatized or hurt, which I wasn't and I'm not. So I personally don't understand people's view of how it's the worst thing you can do is oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all. That one kind of took me by surprise. Okay, recentering myself here. The problem here is dating a 19-year-old when you're 14 is a bit different than being groomed and sexually assaulted by one. That person was still horrifically in the wrong, and you may not have been traumatized, but plenty of other people have. You cannot at all base how other people should respond on your personal experience. There are a lot of people out there that freak out over the smallest thing that I tank through like it's nothing. I'm not going to judge them for it.
Any sin, because all sin is sin.
Well, some sins are abominations, so no.
Guilt by association is a very interesting one because it's also another pile of ammo crates to use to help shut someone down. Like,
well, it depends on what it's about.
Who cares who you associate with?
God, actually.
Like, love the sinner and not the sin.
That's actually never in the Bible, just so you're aware.
It's a weak way.
Granted, it's absolutely stated in other ways, but that phrase itself is not in the Bible.
To try and use it as an argument against someone, like, just like how you love your family, right? Even though not every family is perfect.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to cut your family off. The Bible does sometimes talk about how you're supposed to disconnect with somebody. That's where the entire concept of, what is it? The Catholics use the term for it, but I don't like the Catholics, so I can't remember what it is.
Y'all argue, y'all have conflict, y'all be nasty to one another sometimes. You guys are gonna have fun, you guys are gonna make memories. But y'all are still family. Love and care for each other.
Yeah, sometimes you cut family off. Excommunicate, that's the word. That's the word the church uses. The Catholic Church, specifically. Sometimes the Bible says to shake the dust off your feet. Sometimes it says to mark and avoid somebody. The Bible literally has Jesus saying, I didn't come to bring peace, I came to bring a sword. I will turn mother against daughter and father against son. What are you talking about?
Because you are all what you have. You will never have another brother, sister, grandpa, or whoever.
Depends on how freaky your parents get.
Support the person because you see the cool and awesome and talent that they have in them, instead of a dark closet of something waiting to jump scare you. I might get a load of backlash for this again, but I think if you are ever hurt by trauma or a victim of someone's crimes, or anything of the sort, nothing nor anyone is going to stop you but you. You can't let it hurt you because, truthfully, it can't.
You're taking advice from somebody who was charged with domestic abuse. You're very dumb, and I do not like this.
Can be healed. Let me give an analogy to kind of support it.
Sometimes, brother, you can't just let it go. It's not like you're carrying a bag. You can't escape it sometimes. That's like telling somebody who suffers from PTSD, just let it go, even though it changes your freaking medulla oblongata. This is just foolish.
Let's say I give you a gift box. You open the box and find a live grenade.
I guess I'm gonna die.
You can hear it hissing, ready to explode. What should...
Do not let trauma stop you, and again, do not be afraid. Nothing is going to stop you but you. Not true. I'm pretty sure that if I walk out of my house and there's a rhino there, I'm not going to work. If you do something to yourself, do damage to someone, or receiving damage. What are you talking about?
Should you do? Let it explode and scream the entire time, or throw it?
So Jesus was willing to throw hands? Yes, he did. In fact, he flipped tables and drew people out with a whip.
That's a way it works with poison. Find ways to get it healed so it doesn't kill you. Or...
You know, sometimes people can find healing, sometimes they can't, for whatever reason. Going to find healing in Christ is great. Sometimes you need a therapist. The Bible talks about physicians existing for a reason.
Or even a sticky grenade, if some people might be saying that. Grab it by the pin and throw it. Don't grab it by the shell where it sticks to objects.
If you are given a grenade in a box, you are going to die!
I'm going to get comments saying throw it at them, but I think just throw it so it's not around any human beings.
Jay has never once handled a grenade.
I want to make my own take on this because I don't understand how there are things you can do on the internet that is unforgivable. I have been kind of in a situation of predation myself. I was like 14, dating like an 18, 19-year-old, and this is from my own experience. It was in real life. It was during the fall of 2019. It was like back in high school. We were dating for like a few months. She eventually asked to have sex with me, which I denied. Later decided to break up with her because I didn't think it was going to work out. So...
Agape forgotten. Also, Jesus said to someone like, who are my brothers? Those who listen to the word of God. More important is who he said it to. He said it to his mom!
Especially since I knew like 14 and 18, like having sex, that's illegal. And after I broke up with her, she gave me like this nasty side-eye throughout the entirety of class. Other situations of me participating in
How were you in class with a 19-year-old when you were 14?
Appropriate group chats with adults when I was a minor. I don't even understand.
Which is also not good. And I'm sorry you went through that.
And to this day, how my life is ruined and I'm traumatized by it because...
Nobody said that your life is going to be ruined and traumatized by it. If they're just sending random porn, maybe it doesn't. But we're talking about people who are preyed on, Jay. And you've been told that.
I don't really feel anything from it. Yes, it is wrong having a massive age gap with minors and adults, and I completely understand the perspective and just everything about that. But in my opinion, like, I don't understand how it ruins someone's life and is unforgivable as people say it is, but...
Or again, one of the most heinous of crimes out there is what people say it is. I think damage is done. Debates on how big or small it is genuinely dumb. No, I don't think it's the debates that's dumb. It seems the video maker is dumb.
I guess everyone has different experiences, so please let me know in the comments. I'm not defending...
But you're judging everybody's responses by yours.
I'm not trying to normalize the behavior. I'm simply saying that people are way overly...
No, instead you're excusing it by saying, well, it didn't hurt me, so therefore I don't know why people are upset.
Judgmental about sin. There are YouTubers who have done stuff who the commentary community and a chunk of the internet would likely find less severe than this, such as this guy saying the hard R and losing everything in sensitive society, even making a few videos about him. And others like Creepshow Hard.
Okay, whether or not you lose out on that primarily depends on what you propose. Like, if you're talking about how racism's wrong and how slurs are wrong and you're caught saying the hard R word, yeah, you're going to get in trouble for that. That's hypocrisy. It's lying. People are going to call that out, and that's fine. Who cares?
Who has lost over 200,000 subscribers after Emily Artful made a video about her. Or even KS...
Yes, because Creepshow Art was stalking and harassing her and kept CSEM of her. She didn't get canceled because she tripped on a daisy.
Size music video that swarmed in napalm on his reputation.
I don't care.
Prison mate Luke, who was thought to be a horrible commentary channel.
From what I remember, he was a continuous liar while making commentary videos. Yes, he was.
And was chased offline. And others like Bella the Wolf, Kumo, just...
Bella the Wolf's a child predator. Putting that person next to Kumo isn't good, by the way. I don't appreciate the dishonest framing.
The robot, Frogan. I think it's just...
Frogan? What'd they do? Is that the same person I'm thinking about? Probably not.
Weird at this point, and it shows itself as inconsistent, if I'm using the right words.
Oh, no, it is not. It's pretty doggone consistent, buddy boy.
Kind of like a court system. Very judgmental, and gets...
The point of a court is judgment! You doofus!
Different numbers of years for whatever crime you do, and whatever people would find less, or other people would find less or more bad.
That's determined by a lot of factors.
And depending on intent and the crime name, I don't like the way...
No, he said Bella the Wolf, not Caro.
It works, and I think it is what it is, and it's very unhelpful. Especially since crime rates of individuals...
The prison system is the part that's unhelpful, not the court system.
Rise after conviction or finished sentence. I want to be completely honest about stalking, lying, doxing, slander, bandits, adultery, abuse, all kinds of stuff. Revenge seems like some very weird pity to make...
Oh, hold on. Missed that.
Use, all kinds of stuff.
I guess it's supposed to be escalation. I guess an escalation of damage, I say forgive others if you forgive yourself. Who said anything about forgiving yourself? Second comparison is like a food chain where Jesus is pretty much the apex predator. What are you talking about? If you know what I mean. Incest is greater than rage bait, which is greater than rage bait is greater than abuse? Abuse is greater than doxing. Lying is greater than doxing. The N-word is greater than lying? Well, Jesus is better than all these things simply because he is God. This is so dumb.
Revenge seems like some very weird pity to make yourself feel better. Stop.
I don't think you probably should have said that, because Scripture says, revenge is mine, saith the Lord. So if you think what the Lord does is petty, that's a problem. Have fun with that.
Doing porn, because it can literally cause you to do shit like sex crimes and can have very bad side effects.
Porn causes people to do sex crimes. Evidence, please. And that's a judgment, by the way.
To it, and even weaken your relationship with Christ. Well, if you are in one with him. Stalking can be a form of vengeance because you feel so much rage and hatred towards someone, and this one took me time to learn because it's literally just trying to put out a fire with gasoline.
Yeah, because you were the one doing it.
Abuse is a hard one because taking advantage of others socially or financially is horrible, and someone who hasn't really experienced abuse, but there are several ways to overcome it, but...
Yes, you're totally going to tell us about overcoming something you've never dealt with. Very smart.
One I'd say is tell a trusted one, possibly confront them, but it seriously depends on the context because it is such a massive umbrella term.
Well, yeah, that's why people are specific.
People will try to intimidate you with past calls, debates, videos, ratios, losing friends, sponsorships, your own company, in hopes to shut you down and silence you because they're likely scared of what you are going to say.
Yeah, and they can cope and seethe about it.
Don't let it stop you, because even at the end of the day, you are still going to find your audience. An audience that actually wants to support you.
Yes, child predators, just go back to your audience. Just say, oopsie daisy, it's all good, because that's the same as lying and saying the N-word.
And, like, who cares about numbers, dude? Focus on the fact you still have some...
You do.
...orders and love. There are going to be people who want you in a wood chipper. There will be people that...
Yeah, I wonder why.
...that want to take a fucking bullet for you.
Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. You're decrying people who want them in a wood chipper. The Bible says the wages of sin is death. Do you not? No, of course you don't know Bible.
Focus on the people who actually look at the positive in you and who actually want to support you. Because the internet wants to scare you with numbers.
Yes, child predators. Go to the people who support you. Just a robot, that Synni bear.
And as I said before, as long as you take accountability and commit responsibility, you will find love and an audience. Maybe not world famous or everyone loves you audience, but an audience of people who want to support you. So just focus on the people who want to support you and just keep going. If you focus on the negative people shitting on you, it's
that can be good advice when it's not predation.
Just going to give them more ammo, which will then create a bigger mob. Like a zombie starfish. You cut off a limb, they will just grow another one. And that severed limb will just grow into another starfish.
Sorry, I got a scam call when recording it. We didn't need to know. You could have edited that out.
Hold on.
I love this little guy, like, freaking out in the
It'll
background.
just grow into another starfish, and creating more starfish. And then leads to...
Calm down there, Majin Buu.
A larger army of poison. It happened with Dr. Disrespect, how he was mocking his hate, just gave the internet more ammo.
Yeah, and that dude's a creep who needs to go away, too.
Firstly, in this chapter, I have predictions right now, is that A, people will either say that I sound like a pedo apologist.
You don't sound like one, you just are one.
Or that I'm defending people's behavior even though I'm not.
Many in 2024 have been exposed as predators, and that's why it was mostly spoken about in this video. Yeah, you don't excuse those people.
B, I also have predictions, is that people will argue back and say there is comparison of sin, and that's why people are so judgmental about it, even though I just said it. To just drink minis and focus on winning the match. C,
damage is damage, focus on healing, focus on what you can control, not the uncontrollable. That means nothing coming from you.
People might take the words of there is no comparison of sin out of context, and think that I am saying there's no comparison of sin to everything. Well, that there's no comparison to everything in order to counter my claim. Maybe I might get the support from this video, because there are people with big hearts online. Well, I'm not saying everyone has, but...
There's been having a big heart and being dumb.
If this video doesn't work somehow, and it doesn't fix commentary channels or heal and strengthen everyone on the internet, and this video gets heavily ratioed or anything like that, take a word of advice. At the end of the day, if you get canceled for anything on the internet, take accountability and responsibility if you indeed fuck up, and just keep going, and do not...
He's talking about scripture while cussing. I love it.
Let YouTubers stop you from grinding just because they have larger numbers. Do not let your sinners that gave you victimization stop you from grinding. Any sin is sin. If it falls in the category of sin, then it's sin. And there are also going to be... There are also going to be those who will be like, normal people don't do this, normal people don't do that.
Well, they usually don't. Normal people don't have sleepaway calls.
Just because many think that this idea... Just because many people think this is wrong or right, doesn't mean it's doesn't inherently mean it's normal people. It's kind of like saying isolating blacks and making...
Did this man just compare it to segregationist? Oh my goodness. Context. Just because many believe this idea doesn't mean it makes those people normal. That's why I use this example. I think normalcy is dependent on the amount of people.
Their lives hell in America makes Americans normal people because normal people do not tolerate blacks because they're normal people.
I hate it here.
But still, if you will find your audience, and just focus on the fact that you have a supporting audience, because there will always be those out there who will want to support you.
Even if you are ratioed, look at the support of the audience, because those are good numbers. Oh my goodness, I hate this.
The positivity of everyone. Love everyone as you love yourself. Forgive those as you forgive yourself. I think all these YouTubers fading away so quickly as if a nuke went off is just dark and sad at this point. I think everyone should look at the positivity in everyone, because we don't
toxic positivity sucks, and I hate it all.
Know how talented and good sad people really are. I mean, that would be cool if everyone liked each other, but I highly doubt it's even going to be possible.
No, it's not. And to answer your question, Maylene, during my time, but I hate it.
But anyways, that is going to conclude this video. Let me know in the comments of what you think of this, and please share the video to get this message out there.
No, I'm good. I will go through some things here. Alright, so one of the claims he was making in the server was that we are required to forgive people. Now, I'm going to read some scriptures out here, alright? In Matthew 16:14-15, for if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. The context of this is Christ forgives you, so you should forgive those who wrong you. The Bible does not command you to forgive people who have not wronged you, who are in the greater space. And the reason why is this. You don't have that authority. Forgiveness and salvation, in terms of spiritual context, belongs to God and God alone. If somebody wrongs you and you're a Christian, the Bible does command you that you should forgive them because God forgives you. However, it does not say if somebody preys on a child down the road and that person gets outed for it, that you are to forgive that person. Alright? The Bible doesn't say that at all. In fact, Colossians 3:13 goes through that. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. That's against each other. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. This is about interpersonal conflicts. This is about things that happen to people that are directly connected, not over other things. All right? So, for example, the people Jar has wronged are the only people that can forgive him. For example, my neighbor cannot forgive Jar. Jar has never wronged my neighbor. That is not within his power and his prelude. To God, he can forgive all because he is God. We cannot. We do not have that authority. And I am tired of people trying to make this argumentation. It is biblically inaccurate. It is a doctrine of devils, and I am tired of it. Now, here's what I am going to do. I am going to bring Muffin on, because Muffin wants to read the manifesto. I have been tagged in Vlad's server. What have I been tagged over? Okay. What's this? Where's my office? I always get lost in my own server. How embarrassing is that? Alright, Muffin. Hop on in. I know you're listening. There you are. Could have gone without all the ear pain. But okay then.
Okay, where's this manifesto?
It's, I mean, Hidden linked it. It's in the community discussion.
General community activity? Okay, let me... There's a lot of shit. What the hell?
Here, I'll link you directly.
Does it start at the "You're a effing monster"?
Here, I'll link it directly.
Okay. Oh my god! It's so long! Okay. It's so small too. Let me read. Oh, I can't say some of those words.
Well,
oh my goodness.
Then put in fillers or skip it. I don't care.
Peach Reaver or Peach Retard, whatever your name is, you worthless bitch ass N-word. Don't know why y'all obsessed with me, but okay. So you get so whiny and pissy, bitchy, and every kind of pussy ass behavior over demanding art, acting like I have a desert eagle on your skull. I legit don't give a fuck and moved on. I actually have a life, but since y'all N-word still do for whatever reason and multiple other shit that isn't even stuff to whine about, pinging everyone in that server when the ping doesn't even work and doesn't light off everyone's devices, saying females in chat when you have the word female in your bio along with the cat in depression and no one gives a single fuck about because we honestly want you dead. You do not serve a purpose in life other than to be sucking Lumi's Scrappy Patty gummy candy shaped ass penis if he even has one, LOL. And the fact that you even go so far as if Discord is your life, bitch, if you want your depression to end, stop being a pussy in life. Go to the gym. Get off that chair of yours that is now a literal crater. Because those fucking big ass buns you have are squishing your own fucking arm. There's more! Other than that, you fucking suck dick. You are a lifeless F-word on Discord 24/7, making a fucking dipshit out of yourself every day, and for every key you type your own computer. You suck at Minecraft. You are fucking depression in your 30s. You literally lick peanut butter off Peach's toes every day. She fucking raised your retarded ass, tie your A cups together into a noose, and effing hate yourself. You are a fucking special needs, so shut the fuck up. Other than you fucking suck dick, you are a lifeless F. Oh wait, we already read this. There's double. It's crazy how out of all the things you could be doing in life, such as going to the gym or doing successful shit in life, or I don't know, be a voice actor of... If Alvin decides to have a 4th chipmunk, your high-pitched ass could definitely fit the spot.
That's kind of a banger.
I hope you choose Discord moderator 24/7 as if it pays your bills and antidepressants you rely on every day just to be emo. You look like a fucking autistic K-pop singer that was drug on methamphetamine and shoved dynamite up your ass thinking it was a toy dildo. Like, shut the fuck up, you retarded ass role player at age 33. And imagine whining about my art because I interrupted your discussion that you do not own, while also drawing a furry on a 7-Eleven receipt. I legit want to know what you even purchased on that receipt that you ingested and slid out of your ass that makes you this mentally disabled. I personally do not understand how your 33-year-old brain can even functions, but because Mr. Kitty Cat Man is dick riding me over something I moved on from, so I'm just finna say, you legit get so pissy over everything and everyone because you want to be an emo female so bad and have the audacity to call me sexist because what? Male and female N-word? You fucking sexist is literally the 2 genders that exist. I do not know why I even have to educate a goddamn Discord Karen in the first place about that. I demand to speak to Life's manager. They were sexist and nasty and scolding me for saying females. Please understand that you sound actually retarded to hell. It's like the internet raised your dumbass into Discord 24/7 and claiming that you have friends. Talk about once calling me an asshole for calling Omnia a female, which she is, and calling me a they when I'm literally a guy who hop off on that, please, and thank you. You also claim to be taking care of your mental health when you go so far on Discord becoming a moderator. I don't know, I guess you have depression and you want to feel like you rule or some shit since I studied that stuff in psychology, but whatever. You're also not a bumblebee, you're literally a fucking larva! I will pick you up and throw you like bubble bass through Squidward and like, fucking kill yourself in the love of God. Oh, wait, I can't say that on stream. My bad.
Too late. Way to go. Cancelled.
Is that it? That's it.
I think it is. I think it is. So we're gonna go ahead and finish the rest of the super chats, and then I'm gonna go decompress over all the stupid that I just had to deal with.
I will throw you like bubble bass is crazy.
I just... Alright, so, Buddha Cat for $2. Give me those Gundams, Lyle. No. Isaac Smith for $5. I mean, Zayd has another Twitter account. Oh, okay. Sorry, I should have clarified. Hive Cat for $5. Dude literally wanted to throw his phone in a lake over that Senate call him out. I wish he would have. L18 Move for $2. That's the porn one. Platinum Apex, $2. Isn't hidden the mod bot. She's actually not a bot on my server. Ellington Moves for $2. We bully the piss out of him. It's true. Yes, it is. Jalo Rancho for $5. Nothing tames a man like having... Let me see if I can do that. Nothing tames a man like having a mate. So creepy. Beef and Mets for $5. Focus on healing. Sir, trauma and emotional mental pain don't go away overnight. True. Ellington Moves for $5. Lio, please post this in Pootopia. I want to do a dramatic reading. I already did. Enjoy. Enjoy. Well, it has been a time. Thank you, listener on Fire for $2. What an insane night, indeed. And we've been at it for 3 hours, so I am going to skedaddle. Thank you all for the support. I'll be back to making content. I've got to cover some dorks and then back to nerd stuff that nobody will watch. I will catch you all later. I hope you all have a good night and stay safe for the cold that's coming. Later.